in the journey of being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of mistakes that you make. And like, you just think to yourself, oh, what was I thinking in that moment? We put a lot of time and energy into setting up our website. We said, oh, as soon as the website launches, people just go and they'll buy. How will they buy? Like, they don't know you. Exactly. I think the passion that our customers on Depop had was just so intense. They were really like lovers of the prints, lover of the culture and like the styles. So we just thought that would automatically just like translate to our website and people would just miraculously find us. And so we set up the website. We did like a whole launch and nobody bought anything. Not one item sold on launch day. Yeah. Nothing.
It was so disappointing.
It was so disheartening, disappointing. You're out all day. You're carrying the things are heavy. You go to one market, it's windy, it's raining. Then you're having to like smile at the customer. You have to attract them.
And
you have
conversations
to have
as well.
Yes. And if you're an introvert, it's not something that happens naturally.
Someone like me.
Oh my God, yes. And like, I had to really like force myself out to make sure. Then somebody will ask you your price and they'll try to price you down. And then you have to like, like you're thinking, should I price it down? I haven't sold anything. So you have to really be able to like sell your story, believe in your value, communicate that. And so I think those are the trials by fire that we went through at the start. So we do market. Sometimes in running a business, you want to look like you know what you're talking about. You want to look like a serious business owner. You're that girl, you're a CEO.
Exactly.
But people connect with people, and actually showing your mistakes and being a bit more vulnerable, people connect with that. And like they will like you.
Exactly.
If you're
more
person.
People making mistakes than people that know what they're doing.
Exactly. And I think we had to get like really real. At the start of our journey, we wanted it to be glossy for us to look serious, because we had this insecurity like, we're just the girls, if you know how unserious we are, you won't buy from us. But actually showing them our sisterhood, the ups and downs, the journey. So we'd literally like post about like all of the behind the scenes stuff. The big moments we'd really amplify when we got on TV, whenever we were featured in a magazine. We'd talk. In fact, we will rinse it out for everything it's worth. As featured in BBC, Hello, Channel 4. You'll see added to the email signature everywhere.
Exactly.
But then we'd also show people like the hardships. Like, okay, today we tried to do this, it didn't work out. Today we went here. Look at how we're struggling in this market. People come down and support us. So we'd show them both sides, When you see how hard we're struggling, the wins are even like, they mean more because you've been with us through the journey.
We got an invitation to number 10, and so like to see have breakfast with the Prime Minister. And I remember getting the email and I was like, oh, what a scam! If the Prime Minister,
you think I'll fall for this? Was I born yesterday? Prime Minister was to have breakfast with me.
I remember I was doing my hair. So I went through so many emotions. I got it and I was like, oh my God, wow! I feel my head. I was like, wait, Adeola, are you this? Like, if number 10 wants to invite you, would they send a letter, maybe with a seal?
Exactly. What the hell? Do you know what? The signature was grainy.
Yes.
It looked blurry. And she showed it to me. She was just like, "Oh, do you think it's fake?" I was just like, "Look at the blur." What do you think?
This cannot be real.
It cannot be real.
So I think I even left it like a week, and then something just
you emailed. I emailed. You were like, "Is this a scam?"
So you asked. Probably would have left it.
I didn't even say, is this a scam? I mean, it was a silly thing to do, because would the scammer say it's not a scam?
I feel like all the time, like I feel like with running a business, I use all the parts of myself. Like when I was doing my job, I used to tell her I use like less than 50% of my brain. But like running a business, it demands so much of you. I feel like I'm smarter. I feel like I'm a better problem solver. I feel like I'm more effective than I ever would have been in the corporate world.
That's it.
You fast.
If you want to get closer to be an entrepreneur,
we pray.
Your faith will
we
be
pray.
tested.
Hey,
Is it 3 days of fasting? Now it's small thing. Make it 7 days.
Oh my gosh, we pray so much for the showcase.
I think we prayed about 6 times.
In one day, like we were pray.
Setting time at 12
every
o'clock.
week we had fasting. Like every week, one day of the week we'll be fasting.
Exactly.
Because I think in business you realize that you can't do it by yourself
At all. Welcome to Beyond the Collection by M.A.D, the podcast where we spotlight small business owners, uncover the real behind the scenes of how they're building a thriving business, from the highs to the struggles and the lessons they've learned along the way. And this lesson will equip you to build and to start your business. I'm your host, Ifeok, and I have got two amazing guests with me. This is my first two guests on the show.
We're so honored.
So yeah, I would let you introduce yourself. So if you let us know what you do and what you do basically.
Yeah. Hi guys, my name is Ronke-Jane
And I'm Adeola.
and together we are the co-founders of two incredible organizations, Cultureville, which is an African-inspired fashion brand, and Black Creative Trailblazers.
Yeah, Black Creative Trailblazers is an organization dedicated to showcasing and supporting Black creatives, from musicians to fashion designers, artists, poets. Our goal is to break down barriers, amplify underrepresented voices, and create spaces where Black creativity is seen and valued. So we host events, we run training and workshops, and we share opportunities for work and for funding to help them make money from their creativity.
That's really good. And what does Cultureville do?
So Cultureville is an African-inspired fashion brand. We are all about making African fashion accessible to everyone. We want people to look good, feel good, and do good. We are a female-run brand, so we have a fully female production team, and we are all about empowering African creatives, and almost investing back into the community where the culture and the prints come from. So we source our items from Nigeria and Ghana, and all our items are handcrafted by local artisans who are highly skilled. And so our brand is all about celebrating joy, positivity, but also making, African culture not seem like, one that isn't full of talent, because I think often that's the narrative that Africa needs saving. But also we have immense beauty, we have immense talent in our community, and so we're all about showcasing that.
Right, okay, so let's take it all the way back. So before you started creating Cultureville and also Black Creative Trailblazer, what were you doing? How did the journey start? And what made you think, okay, let me create this brand, or let me create this community to help these people?
Yeah, I think it started way back in 2015, 2016. I was graduating university, and at the time Adeola wasn't even in Nigeria. She was doing her NYSC. And so as part of that process, she wanted to find out more about Nigerian culture, feel more comfortable in Nigeria. Our parents, they might not always be around. So she wanted to really develop her own roots with our extended family. And so whenever she was in Nigeria, she'd come back to the UK with beautiful items. In Nigeria there's a culture of tailoring. You don't really buy things off the rack. Your tailor will measure you. They'll bring the different prints, the different fabrics that you can have, and they'll hand make it custom for you. And so when she brought back these dresses, I was just like, wow, these are beautiful. I'm the little sister, so I just watched her. When her flight back to Nigeria is almost coming, I'll just sneak the one that I want and I'll keep it to the side. Then I'll be like, oh, have you seen my dress? Oh, what dress? Next thing she'll see it on Instagram. She'll literally see it on Instagram. I should be like, oh, isn't that my dress? I'm like, oh, well.
She'll be like, you forgot it.
You forgot it. That was literally I was just like, oh, you must have forgotten it. It must have been in the watch while you were going. So yeah, and I just fell in love with the items, and it wasn't just me. I walk down the street, people be like, wow, where's your dress from? Oh, it's from Nigeria. They don't have any access to it. And it wasn't just me who wanted it. Our friends would see it. Our family members would see it. And so somebody was just like, have you thought about putting these things on Depop? And Adeola, she's very business minded. She's very entrepreneurial. And so she'd be like, okay, how can we send it to people? How can we make it happen? And so you really did a big push to get the items on Depop.
So we started, there was a lady at church. And there was a lady at church who had a shop here. And so I started off, initially I thought that was the way to go. Let me give it to her. And she has this Nigerian shop in Boston. Maybe she can help me sell it. So I think I did about 10 tops or something like that. I gave her to see if she could sell it. Sadly, the communication wasn't very good. It took me ages to get paid. I was just, in the end, the thing just put me off even going into the business. Another friend then said, have you ever thought about Depop? Depop is like Instagram where you can sell your products. I said, no, I don't know what it is. But I looked into it, and then we started I started putting pieces on there. And the next thing on Depop, we had orders from London, Italy, all sorts of places, America, like literally people like being like, I need this item. Like, I was like, calm down, please, relax. Like, so, I think that was when I really thought, wow, like people really love this stuff. Like there's a real market for it.
Yeah.
I didn't really know a lot about business because that's not what I studied. It's not anything I had learnt about, but I knew that this product from Nigeria, there was a demand for it across the world. At that time, our prices were very low. Oh my God. I was selling things for less than £20. Like, I don't think I was making money. I used to say I think eventually I said to Ronke, I'm just changing money. I'm changing it from Naira to pounds. Because honestly, I'm not making any money. But at that time, I didn't know. I was just so excited that people were buying it. I was like, they're buying it. Oh my God. Like, wow. So I was working so hard. So eventually, we learned about, how to calculate overheads, this, that, the other, to make sure it makes sense. And, I think that was like a costly mistake because we lost a lot of that customer base that loved, the things that were £15 that were like, we lost them because we had to actually make sure that we're making money. But I think it just showed us that, there was a market for it and we wanted to try and go for that market.
Yeah.
So I think eventually we built a website.
Yes. Eventually we built a website, but this was all while we were both working full time and other things.
Yeah.
So Adeola's a solicitor. She's qualified across 3 jurisdictions. I'm a software tester, so I worked on banking apps. So we had like our 9 to 5 while also trying to build this business. And so eventually we were like, okay, there's a big demand here. Why don't we just like set up our own website, see if people really, really go for it? And in the journey of being an entrepreneur, there's a lot of mistakes that you make. And like, you just think to yourself, oh, what was I thinking in that moment? We put a lot of time and energy into setting up our website. We said, oh, as soon as the website launches, people just go and they'll buy. How will they buy? Like, they don't know you.
Exactly.
I think the passion that our customers on Depop had was just so intense. They were really like lovers of the prints, lover of the culture and like the styles. So we just thought that would automatically just like translate to our website and people would just miraculously find us. And so we set up the website. We did like a whole launch and nobody bought anything. Not one item sold on launch day.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It was so disappointing.
It was so disheartening, disappointing. Like,
I think the website designer tried to tell us, he was like, just because you have a website doesn't mean people will come. And we were looking at him like, no, they'll come, don't worry.
They'll find us.
We're like, of course they'll come. But I think the truth is like, your friends and your family, they support you, but they might not necessarily be your customer base. And like, you need to find your customer base. You need to find those who are interested in the things that you're selling and want the service that you have to offer. And I think it took us a little while to learn that, or even learn how to speak to those who could potentially be our customer base. But I would say something that helped us in like the beginning days was doing quite a lot of markets, and those are hard. They're really, really difficult to go out into the world and to try and like really be a salesperson. But then you get that direct feedback from your customers and you're like, they can be like, oh, you can see what people naturally go towards. What's the item that's like eye-catching for them? But it's also very difficult, and it tells you whether or not you're made for a life of like this business, because you're out all day, you're carrying the things are heavy. You go to one market, it's windy, it's raining, then you're having to like smile at the customer. You have to attract them.
And
you have to
conversations
have
as well.
Yes, and if you're an introvert, it's not something that happens naturally.
Someone like me.
Oh my God, yes. And like, I had to really like force myself out to make sure. Then somebody will ask you your price and they'll try to price you down.
I know.
And then you have to like, like you're thinking, should I price it down? I haven't sold anything. So you have to really be able to like sell your story, believe in your value, communicate that. And so I think those are the trials by fire that we went through at the start. So we do market. Sometimes they go really well, but sometimes they go awfully. At the start, we didn't even know how to do the market setup. Our things will be flying in the wind. Our racks will be falling down. But like, those were the like things that we look back on now. We're like, okay, that was like hard, but we've been through hardships. So certain hardships were like, we've gone through that before.
Exactly.
It's okay. We'll survive.
Yeah. That's one t-shirt.
Yeah.
Did you have like content from those days?
Yeah.
Okay.
We do. So we were the first African print brand, African inspired fashion brand to do Manchester Christmas markets. And that was That was a trial. It was freezing cold. It was like 0 degrees, -degrees. And like we would get a lot of hate sometimes from people walking past and be like, what are you doing here? You don't belong here.
Really?
Yes. And they'd say to your face, we got scammed a number of times. People giving us fake notes.
3 times.
Yeah. People get, and
we were really broke at that time. Lord of heaven.
Oh my God. We had some awful days in that period.
So how did you find out it was? Is it like when you go to pay for something and then you see that it's fake?
So yes, like we'd go to hand it into the bank and they'd be like, oh, this isn't real.
Yeesh.
That was what happened the first time. Like we went to put it into our bank. The second time, the guys were acting like just a little dodgy. But you know, when you're desperate for the sale, you haven't sold all day and somebody's interested, you're like, yeah. So the guy, he'd touch everything, be like, how much is this one? How much is this one? How much is this one? He had this whole narrative. He's buying something for his girlfriend. He doesn't want anything too big, just something small. You know, just something small that she can have. He'll put it as a stocking filler, blah, 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 blah. And so he went for a really low cost item, but he gave me a 50. And so I was just like, oh, this is a bit odd. And so like, I think I was a bit like, I'm not too sure. But before I'd even like had the chance to think about it, he'd handed me the note, and then somebody else came and I was trying to speak to that other customer, but he was waiting for his change. I think they come as like a duo. And so I was like a bit frazzled trying to like give him his change, but speak to this new customer. And then so I just handed like the change of 40 something pounds back to him. And then like as soon as he walked away, something in my spirit fell off. So I was just like, no, wait. But she had gone for lunch and I was the only one in the store. And
I was there for that one, the stocking filler guy, because I remember him. Yeah, I remember
so
him.
like
we give you like £50.
£50. So then he gets 40 something real
like
pounds,
40,
right?
40
from us.
pounds, like 40 pounds in real money.
The Bible says the heart of man are desperate.
yes.
Can you imagine?
Honestly, it
I
was
would
like,
never even have thought of that.
Yeah.
It's a scam
It's
that
a proper scam that they do at Christmas markets.
And then it happened the third time. That time you were alone. I went for lunch or something, and you were calling me that I should come because you weren't sure, and the police were there, but they were so not helpful.
Yeah, so as it was happening, and that one I really felt like away. I called her and I was just like, "Come, I think I'm getting scammed." But like she was a little bit away. So then I spoke to the police. I was just like, "This is a fake note. Like they're right there." Police were like, "Oh, that's not our department." Like, but they're there. You can see them. Like go after them. He was just like, "No, you need to
call 111."
When
I shook you.
like I wanted to go after them, but I was alone and there were two of them, and I was just like, apply wisdom. Like not everything, because I'm a fighter, but not everything is like a fight. But I think those were like some really tough lessons. And we came out from it, and I think we were totally like depleted mentally, physically, emotionally.
And especially when you feel, in conditions like that, you're working for every penny. Like you are in that cold. When you do Christmas markets, you have to be there from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Is it 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.? 10 a.m. to, it might be 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. But you have to be there for those full days. You're not allowed to close early.
No.
Yes, you're not
allowed to.
Because Christmas markets need to look a certain way. So like, you can't imagine if like somebody decides to leave at 5, somebody else, they need to all be open all at the same time. You need to comply with those rules. So even when you're tired, even when it's raining, even when you've had a hard day, you have to stay there. You have to stay open. And so you really feel the pressure of every penny you've earned. And so for that to happen, it was painful.
And I think for us, we're in a time where it was really, really difficult financially. And so like at that point, we just quit our jobs to do Cultureville full time, like a couple of months before. And it was hard. It was like trial by fire, And so I think for us, like having something like £50 taken away from us, and it happened on a number of occasions, it really added up. And it like by the time Christmas markets were over, I think we were depleted mentally, emotionally, physically, because the days are long. You hardly get a break. We'd give each other like, okay, you take 20 minutes, go, warm up somewhere, because it was freezing cold. Like we'd rely on friends to just like bring us a hot drink, a hot water bottle, and like it was just a really, really difficult time. So, but it also like gave us a certain mental fortitude that like, oh, we've been through worse.
Exactly.
Like sometimes we'll be like, well, it's not as bad as Christmas markets. Like, when we're going through a hard time, we're like, oh, it's different problems. It's not as hard as Christmas markets. So I think stuff like that, like really builds you up. You know, like markets are tough. You have to face your customers. Sometimes it's windy, your items are blowing off the rack, so you just have to like, you know, strung it. But I think for us, it gave us a few things. We were awarded Manchester's Young Trader of the Year. And so that was like, we were now an award-winning fashion brand, you know, not just a regular fashion brand. So we got a lot of positives from it. We got introduced to the market community. We're part of Manchester Young Traders, which is a network where they allow you to do like markets for really low cost and they'll support you financially with certain things that you need. So it brought challenges, but it also brought a lot of like positives as well.
Yeah, and I think for me, one of the positives was I think there was a day after school and this group of young girls that were all black ran to our store. Auntie, I'm from that country. Oh my gosh, I have to take a picture for my mom. Oh my gosh, like, and they were so happy to see us. And I think in those moments where you're struggling with the people who are like, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. Your accent is this, like all of that stuff. You see a group of girls like that, and it is the vision, it is the dream that they get to see their culture, not as something to be ashamed of, but like as something to be proud of, as something to say, that's my culture, you know. And I think I didn't have that growing up. If you came from Nigeria, you were fresh off the boat. You had to do everything to cover your accent, everything you could to suppress, you know, to suppress any evidence of where you were from. And so
it wasn't like a cool thing.
Definitely not.
The scam thing that was quite high, especially Nigerians.
Yeah.
Oh, you're Nigerian. I hope you're not part of the people that sends us email. I'm like, what are you saying? Do you get remarks like that? Like,
oh, it's your father approves.
Exactly.
Like, you got one right at school where Ronke was speaking to someone. And what did you say? I can't remember what you said, but they said, "Can you speak English?"
Yes.
Oh, I got that.
And she said, "I'm speaking English right now." Like,
then I was working in a call center. I think that was my first role in the UK.
Oh my
I came
gosh.
in 2010.
Yeah.
So I finished my master's and then I got this call center role. Oh, can I speak to someone that speaks English? I'm like, and to think I only speak English, I don't even know else. Anything else. I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Like English is like
English is my first language. You have to speak like maybe my mother tongue or something. That'll be okay. But when you hear things like that, you're like, you have to be kidding me, right? So I mean, you get all of those kind of things. But I feel like the benefits or the positives of having kids running up to you to say, this is amazing. I feel like it makes all the difference. It just makes the whole things not going well just not look relevant.
It's so true. It's so true. Ups and downs, right?
Yeah. And I think like even from that point, the journey was still not smooth, you know, launch not going well, like the website not doing what it needed to do to begin with. I think those were all like challenges and lessons that we learned through growing a business. Like you can't just put your website out and everybody will flock to it. No, you need a mailing list. You need to like do some promotion. Sometimes you have to put like funding behind it to like make your message amplify. But I think what we found in Manchester was like, by doing things little by little, growing slowly, we built up a really incredible network of creatives. Like, you know, I'm also a poet on the side, so we'd go to like open mic events, we'd do fashion shows, we'd work with like local youth groups, Kaiso, and so we really built like a strong network of creatives. And so with them and with their support, we didn't have lots of budget, but we could do things that looked good and like would really like amplify. So our first one of our first fashion shows was in like my neighbor's garden, and we got like a bunch of young people from Kaiso, and they came and they took pictures with us and it ended up looking really, really good. And so like learning how to like almost like work on a shoestring budget, but use the network that you have around you, it really makes like a little effort go a long way. And so like we've slowly been able to build that out into what like Black Creative Trailblazers is today. So I think Black Creative Trailblazers and Cultureville almost like came hand in hand, you know. Initially, Trailblazers started as like a one-off event during Black History Month because we could see that like there were a lot of us creatives in Manchester who were extremely talented but weren't getting opportunities. We didn't like have the access to funding. People like almost didn't see us. And so we're like, okay, what can we do? And it was Diola's idea to do something during Black History Month.
Yeah, I think just looking around, I think I personally was just, it's Black History Month. I want to go do something. I want to go have fun somewhere, celebrate the fact that it's Black History Month. And I think I was just looking online and everything I saw was either like a talk, something very serious, whereas I wanted like something fun, joyful.
Exactly.
You know, I was like, wow, the food, the music, the dancing. Like, I want somewhere where I can go and celebrate, you know, or there was like, maybe I think I found one dinner, but it was very expensive out of my price range, almost £100. So I was kind of like, what can we do? And I had started going to Ronke's open mic nights and discovering not just, you know, like the models that had been helping us, but like, oh wow, there's poets. Oh wow, there's musicians. Oh wow, Manchester has so much more than I thought. So I said, you know what, why don't we, I spoke to the BIPC actually at the library, Manchester Central Library, and I said, you know, can we come in Black History Month or bring people into the library, a space where maybe a lot of people don't even come to within our community, and just take it over for a night, do some fashion shows, music, and they were like, oh wow, why not? Like, let's try it. And so they trusted us, they gave us the space, they sorted out the security, they partnered with us, and they helped us with putting on the first event, and it was amazing. My gosh, like honestly, I was just blown away. Ronke always refers to the night as she felt it was like her wedding.
Oh, no,
Like,
I did feel like it was my wedding.
it was so beautiful. Like, we had about 100 people from the community, about 8 creatives, eight people who were fashion designers or music, and we just had this program. Everyone dressed up, black tie, and they had, you know, like this purple lights in the Shakespeare Hall at the library, and it was beautiful. Like, beyond, you know, there's something about having a concept in your head and seeing it come and seeing it come to life that just, you can't believe that God has taken that idea from your head to reality. And so I think, and we've built on that every year. This last one we had almost 1,000 guests, and I think it's just a show of the desire, the hunger within our city for connection, for community. Cultureville really was community built. We didn't have a lot of money when we started. It's people helping us, people supporting us, people saying, oh, I would like to model. We're like, oh yeah, come and give it a try. Like, let's see what you can do. Let's try you out, you know. And that community has then, a lot of the people that started with us on that journey have translated to Black Creative Trailblazers and are part of what we do now in the new organization.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're running a business, there's really like ups and downs with running a business, a lot of challenges. So what, I know you've mentioned when you started the clothing brand, you opened your website and no one came through like you expected. How did you navigate, or how did you go through or get past the point where people were not coming in to where you had like customers coming to the website? So yeah, how did you navigate your challenges?
I think with customers not coming to the website, you know, it was a really difficult challenge to overcome because I didn't know where to start. You know, we thought about running paid ads, but I didn't know much about running paid ads. I couldn't afford to like just waste money. I think we did one time. We spent like £70 or £90 on paid ads. And like we set it up completely wrong, and the money just like literally went down. It was like throwing it into the bin. And so, you know, I started doing like little courses, YouTube video here and there, but nothing really like moved.
We tried to ask people to teach us.
Yeah, we tried to like hire people to teach us, but they weren't willing to do that. And so somebody gave me the idea, which was like, focus on organic first. When you've done all that you can with organic, then invest in paid, because you'll know that you've done the very best that you can, and then you've gone to your limit. And so it started with things like finding out about SEO, search engine optimization. So we started by doing blogs, so that would increase our website authority. We tried to get like inbound and outbound links, which is like when other websites link to your website, so you can strengthen the authority of like your website. And that was like something that was really effective for us. So like I literally email like different editors of like magazines, be like, oh, can you feature us in this article that you're writing, or I saw you wrote this article, I think would make like a really great addition to it. And that was a great way to get a word out. And I think we started getting active on Instagram. Like we started showing people. I think sometimes in running a business, you want to look like you know what you're talking about. You want to look like a serious business owner. You're that girl, you know, you're a CEO.
Exactly.
But people connect with people, and actually showing your mistakes and being a bit more vulnerable, people connect with that, and like they will like you
Exactly.
if you're
Or
a
more
person.
people making mistakes
Yes.
than people that know what they're doing.
Exactly. And I think we had to get like really real. You know, at the start of our journey, we wanted it to be glossy for us to look serious, because we had this insecurity like, we're just the girls, if you know how unserious we are, you won't buy from us. But actually showing them our sisterhood, the ups and downs, the journey. So we'd literally like post about like all of the behind the scenes stuff. The big moments we'd really amplify when we got on TV, whenever we were featured in a magazine. We'd talk. In fact, we'll rinse it out for everything it's worth. On as featured in BBC, Hello, Channel 4. You'll see added to the email signature everywhere.
Exactly.
But then we'd also show people like the hardships. Like, okay, today we tried to do this, it didn't work out. Today we went here. Look at how we're struggling in this market. People come down and support us. Like, so we'd show them both sides, you know. When you see how hard we're struggling, the wins are even like, they mean more because you've been with us through the journey. So I think that was how we really were able to build an audience, by leaning into our authenticity of like, this is who we are, these are the struggles that we're having. But on the days where we do well, you can be part of our joy because you've seen it happen.
Yeah.
And so I think we went with a very organic approach. We did YouTube. We'd go, like during lockdown, we really like, it was a hard time because the Christmas markets, that happened in December. We quit our jobs in like June, July.
Okay.
Of 2019, right? We had Christmas markets in December, and then the following February, that was lockdown. And so like we had freshly quit our jobs. We had all these events, you know how I was saying like markets were good for us. So we had a whole summer of pop-ups, we'd called it, that we were going to do all over like
Summer tour.
yeah, because we're like, okay, we really want to hone in on this thing. We'll do a summer tour. We won't just stay in Manchester. We'll go to Manchester, Liverpool, London.
And COVID came and said,
think again. And so at that point, we're like, what are we going to do? So we're like, okay, here's what we can do. Let's not focus on the fear, because we're Christians and we're like, you know what? If we lean into the fear, we'll get depressed.
Exactly.
We've just got our jobs. We have no safety net. But let's focus on what we can do. Let's focus on God. And so we're like, okay, how can we help our community? Let's not think about ourselves. What can we do to strengthen those around us? And Adeola came up with an idea. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so I had this idea. I really feel like God placed it in my heart, and it was called Stay Safe with Cultureville. So we had a lot of fabrics here in the UK, and I just had this idea of making face masks on the fabrics and giving it away, not charging people. So people could go on the website, get a free face mask, and then they would only pay for the shipping, they wouldn't pay for the face mask. So we got our tailors who were here, please make, X amount of face masks. I think we just made a small quantity the first time, maybe like 20, and see how it does. But then people started finding, so I think we shared it on groups, we gave some to our church, and people were finding out about it. And each one we put a little bit about our business and what we do. But when people would go on the website to pick up their free face masks, they will shop, right? So they'll stop, let me support them. I think, some people, it was the ethos of what we did. Yeah. Some people, they couldn't afford it. Some people would message us like, my grandma needs this, because we had a limit. Initially, we were just giving it away, but then we made a limit of you can only get one. So people would even send us their stories of why they need an extra face mask. And it was just amazing. We got approached by so many companies. And I think that campaign really, really helped us. That's when people really started going on our website. It was like a switch from, because initially when our website wasn't doing good, we said, okay, so it looks like the website is just for show, just to say you have website. If someone asks you, you can say, oh, yeah, website, cultureville.co.uk. But it really felt like our website became useful during that lockdown period. Like people were shopping on it, and that was our first time doing that. And so that really helped us with the switch. And yeah, that was the COVID plan. We kept doing that, and that lasted a lot of months, didn't it?
Yeah, so as part of the Stay Safe with Cultureville, we gave out the free mask, but we also did things on our website and on our socials. So on our website, we had a blog, and we'd have like all kinds of creative things that you could do during lockdown. Books you should read, meals you can make, plantain pancakes recipe. Like we'd
Is that a
infuse.
thing?
Yes, and it's tasty.
Okay.
We'd make it how to make Chapman.
and we'd make it.
We do it all. We'd be like, we'll take pictures. We'll do everything that was on our blog. We tried it ourselves. So like, it was just like about staying entertained, staying safe, staying mentally and physically strong during the lockdown period. And so like, anything that could do with entertaining, inspiring, encouraging, we'd put that on our blog, and people go out and they'd read it. We'll also post it on our Instagram. Oh, I've read this book. I thought this about it. Oh, I tried this. I watched this show. Oh, I watched this movie. Like, and so it really helped us build like a community. We'd also post like funny videos. Me and Adeola attempting TikTok dances.
You know, that's what TikTok.
Me and Adeola would do dances.
Went on that platform the whole of COVID. I'm like,
we do dance challenge, like whatever it is, we'll just give it a go, because we did it at the same during our period. And if we could serve our customers, we'll infuse it with a little bit of culture, and like add the culture to like the thing that we're doing. So if it's recipes, it's going to be African recipes or black, like things that included our culture. If it's books, African authors that you can read. If it's like movies, or featuring a black character or an African character. So it was about like combining what we're already doing. It's a lifestyle, So yeah, and I think obviously Black Lives Matter was happening also in the background of that. And there was a huge move to support Black-owned businesses. And I think for us, that was beneficial. And it was something that really hit home. We were seeing all these stories of people enduring racism. And I think for Adeola and I, it was also a very personal thing, because we had left the corporate world, partly because we just felt like underappreciated. We didn't feel seen. We felt like there were invisible barriers to our growth in the corporate setting. And we felt that if we owned our own business, we could control how far we could rise, and we could remove barriers for other people. And so that's kind of why we moved to like running our own business. And so during Black Lives Matter was something that was very personal. And so we did Black Stories Matter, which was all about like highlighting people in our community who were doing great already. We don't want to wait until people die to recognize what they've done. We want to give them the flowers while they're still around to receive it. And so we try to tell the stories. And eventually that manifested into the Kings and Queens of, Queens of Heritage. When we did the Black Creative Trailblazers Showcase, we honored the first cohort of the Black Creative Trailblazers Showcase. We honored people in the community who were already doing incredible work. And those were our Queens of Heritage. But it was all about like, uplifting the community and really showing like we are the trailblazers. We are people making history currently. This is what we're doing. We're doing incredible things. And so with Cultureville and Black Creative Trailblazers, both businesses, that's what we've always strived to do. And it's been beautiful to watch like people actually sit up and recognize that, okay, look at the Black community. Look at how amazing we are.
Exactly.
And we want to see more of that.
Yeah, definitely. So were you able to translate some of the customers you had from the markets to like go to your website?
Yes.
So some of our biggest customers are from that Christmas market. People who stuck with us through lockdown. We have one particular customer. Oh my gosh, she was so amazing. Despite lockdown, she would continue to buy from us. Like shopped like crazily, like throughout lockdown. Because I remember at the end of the year saying like, this woman is one of the things that has kept us, and she met us in lockdown.
Sometimes you always know those customers.
Yes, that.
When their name pops up and the other
literally, and I guess that's one thing about, as hard as, like Ronke said, physical events can be very tough, especially when they're outdoors, especially the Christmas markets one. But sometimes you get to build relationship with real people that, really, you can't really replicate that online. The physical experience of meeting, a founder or meeting a customer, understanding their story, connecting with them on the culture, and things like that. And that carries longer than, just the online order. Sometimes our customers email us, like maybe when they get their product and they're like, oh my gosh, I just wanted you to know, but it's not the same as having a conversation and they feel they get to know them and you get to know them. And so I think the real ideal situation is to be able to mix pop-ups with online, right? So have indoor, we don't do outdoor pop-ups anymore. We've learned our lesson. We do indoor pop-ups, like in nice spaces, whether that's going into organizations, whether that's an event event that's coming up, indoor pop-ups mixed with kind of the online experience, I think is what's optimal. And I think, some of those customers have stayed with us and have lasted years. And that's one of the best things that's come out of that experience.
And even to this day, we'll have like people come up to us, oh, I bought a fan when I saw you at Christmas markets.
Okay.
And I'd be like,
I
that
don't
was such a
remember you.
hate. I was cold. I can't remember anything.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, what a crazy
But
time.
like they remember, the experience sticks with them, and I think that's the value of the physical. Like people, the connection goes a little bit deeper.
Definitely.
So
I mean, you can't replace that physical with people that will just buy online and that's it. So what are some of the highs that you've experienced in your journey with like Cultureville and also with the Black Creative Trailblazers?
I would say one of my main highs is probably first time going on TV. It was still like lockdown-ish. I remember we had to wear masks and stuff. It was on Channel 4 and we had to go on this show called Steph's Pack Lunch and set up a stall and all of that stuff, and we never done anything like that, so that was really, really cool. I think same thing with Lorraine, when we were on the Lorraine show, so they featured one of our bags on the Lorraine show as like something you could buy. I think it was a Black History Month segment and fashion black-owned brands you could buy from. It's the Lorraine, I don't know what her surname is, but it's a show on ITV. It's like a morning show. A daytime show.
Yeah, but there's this lady called Candice Braithwaite.
Yeah.
And she like modeled her bag and she like brought it out, and we're literally on TV for probably like 30 seconds or less. But in that 30 seconds,
The number of bags we sold, I didn't know people watch TV like that.
Honestly, when I went for the UK Black Business Show was it May or the one in Birmingham?
Okay.
I know they do these things for black businesses. If you get a particular, is it Channel 4?
Yeah.
I know they would feature your item for X amount of time, and she was like, you would literally see like 600% sale in that period. And this one they do it like for like so many days. I'm like, wait, people actually watch TV?
people watch TV.
Really?
Blown away.
I was so shocked.
It was, and we didn't expect it. I don't think we didn't like. I remember they requested the item like maybe 2-3 days before, and we're just like, okay, yeah.
Did you feel like it was a spam?
Yes.
Scam or
Oh my God.
something?
So many times that has happened.
Yeah.
Because we get contacted and we're like,
Is this real? Exactly. Especially if it's something you're not expecting. It's kind of like when Judy Love messaged to say, well, her stylist. I'm like, do you know I didn't answer for a few weeks or something like. I'm like, it's probably a scam. I think because I'd known the name for a long time. I'm like, but then when I saw her like repost something or actually like the page, I'm like, actually maybe it's real.
So one that happened to us last year, I think, was we got an invitation to number 10, and so like to see have breakfast with the Prime Minister. And I remember getting the email and I was like, what a scam! If the Prime Minister,
you took our fall for this. Was I born yesterday? Prime Minister was to have breakfast with me.
I remember I was doing my hair. So I went through so many emotions. I got it and I was like, oh my God, wow, I'm feeling right now. I was like, wait, Adeola, you this like if number 10 wants to invite you, would they send a letter, maybe with a seal, what the hell?
Do you know what? The signature was grainy.
Yes.
It looked blurry. And she showed it to me. She was just like, do you think it's fake? I was just like, look at the blur. What do you think?
This cannot be real.
So I think I even left it like a week, and then something just told me.
I emailed. You were like, is this a scam?
Probably would have left it.
I didn't even say, is this a scam? I mean, it was a silly thing to do, because would the scammer say it's not a scam? Like, would they say, oh yes, I am a scam? Like, but I just sent them an email back. They said, no, we can assure you this is not a scam. I copied in the head of the department of I said, I checked their emails. I found them on LinkedIn. I said, it's real. I said, thank you. We'd love to know. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I think, that was another highlight, because going to number 10, oh my gosh, that was just beautiful. I could not believe we were there.
You know what? The whole time we sat there, I was just like, Jesus,
Pinch me,
pinch
somebody.
me.
Guess I'm still sleeping.
I was just like, it's real.
I know.
Inside number 10.
Did you vlog like?
No, we couldn't. They take your phones at the door.
So we vlogged our journey there.
Yes.
And we could take pictures outside the door, but inside you can't take pictures. So I was just looking around, trying to absorb.
Take it
Like, take my mental picture. Like,
Yeah. And like it goes so quickly, like you feel like, how can I explain this? Like, those are the moments I'm really happy to have a co-founder, because who else will understand this experience? You have to be here to understand, and I just thank God that like that's the best thing about running a business with Ronke, is like we get to do a lot of things together. And like the hard times are hard, I can be having a horrible day, sometimes we're both down at the same time, which is like the worst, is like depression on depression. Like, but on the good days you're like, wow, like God is so amazing. And there's so many things that I think in business you can't tell people. You were saying earlier, like, if it might feel that you're being open and you're sharing everything, but you can't share everything. Some things are just like they make you feel too exposed, too vulnerable, they're too real. And I feel like
people sometimes they say be relatable and be open,
but not too much.
People don't want to actually see that realness. There was something I was going to do recently. My partner was like, are you sure you want to be that open? Because people want to see that you're open, but they don't want to see that level of openness. I'm like, okay, let's just leave it there.
You really have to be careful.
Because a lot of like big, there was a podcast I was listening to recently. They're like, people say we're giving it or keeping it 100, but they really don't want to see it 100. So let's just be realistic right now. But yeah.
So I think what's it called? Yeah, I think sharing you can't, the fact that she knows everything, she knows all the struggles, she knows as real as it gets. And we know, like, sometimes we'll look at it and we're crazy. Like, why are we doing this? Like, but you know what? We're crazy, but we're in it together. Like,
I think it's quite nice that you've got someone to share that journey with, because I mean, there are a lot of us that were literally just winging it by ourselves. Like, if you're down by yourself. But then you know how it says in the Bible, two double cord cannot be easily broken. I feel like that is it's so much easier when you've got someone to share that joy and stress with. But then when you're by yourself, you'll just drink ice cream and popcorn.
I'm like, you are so strong. Like, I don't know how you do it.
I don't think I could do it.
I don't think I could do it by myself. I think I would have quit and gone back to corporate. I've still thought about it many times.
When you think about, I mean, there are times where I think about, like, what am I even doing here? Like, I just go back to my 9 to 5 because you're working 24/7.
Literally.
But I look at the benefits of what I get from working for myself. I mean, I'm able to take 10 months away. Which corporate role is giving me 10 months? No chance. I'm able to like go for events for my kids. I feel like because they're quite young, I want to be here in their like growing up process and stage. And I'm like, nah, corporate was good, but I mean, the pay was good, but let's leave that. I mean, we can always go back to doing corporates like later on if I feel the need to, but I don't think I'm going to feel the need to.
I always say this thing to Ronke, like, I love my life. Like, if anything happens to me today, like, I will know that I lived my life to the fullest. I enjoy my life. I think before it's like, oh, you go to work and then you try and enjoy your weekend, your 3 weeks of holiday, that's not life, like, ideally you should enjoy most of your life. Work is like most of your life. I think it's like 70% or 80% of your life. Those are the people that you spend most of your time with. Those are the people that inform a lot of what you do. So if you spend it being unhappy and waiting for it to finish, why should you spend 70-80% of your life if you can afford to do so? And we can only afford to do so because we have the backing of our parents. They support us, like, if we were alone, maybe that would be a harder thing. If we had a family that we had to support, that might be another thing as well.
Triple difficult.
Literally.
You see, these kids are not cheap, man.
People relying on you, and like, I think that's one thing that when we're quitting our jobs, because I remember talking to our parents and they're like, oh my God, why would you do this? My mom was like, don't quit your job. I'm telling you, don't quit your job.
And you have someone to tell you don't quit. Well, you actually even like quit by yourself. Some of us got fired. They're like, Ife, let's have a quick call. So next week, Friday is going to be your last day. I'm like, and this was like peak COVID, like June, July of 2020. I mean, because I've worked like a contractor for a long time, I knew like things like this happen. But when you're in the middle of COVID and then like there was not a lot of like jobs at that time, I was like, no way somebody's going to catch me off guard like this again. So I'm like, let me do it in my own way. It was a journey. Yeah. So when I hear people say, "Oh, I quit your job," I'm like,
we both
"Good for
quit.
you."
Yeah, we did.
Some of us got fired.
I don't know, because sometimes with quitting also you question yourself, like, why did I do that? Should I have done that? Because I think with you know, like, okay, well, they gave me no choice and I made lemonade out of lemons. I was placed in a bad situation and I had no choice. Whereas I think with us, we're like, well, you feel very sure about what you did.
That place, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
Like, whenever I'm like, oh my God, Ronke, when we create, she's like, well, I know I was supposed to do it. Like, I was so unhappy.
Deeply unhappy.
But I think, I don't know, like, I think I feel very blessed to be able to enjoy my life. I always say, I just wish I had more money. Like, because I think there was a certain life I enjoyed of like travel. Ronke used to go on holiday 4 or 5 times a year. She would be like, it's not enough. I've only had 3 holidays this year. Oh my God.
I know that main bank holiday, there's the main one, and just before then there's Easter.
Yes.
I know we're traveling
Yes. I was living life. I'd go to Dubai, to Nigeria, to Thailand, to all in 1 year.
Exactly.
Who am I?
It wasn't money, it was time.
It was time.
Like, having the time to actually go was more of a problem. And I think, I don't know, I guess sometimes you do miss that lack of stability. That is one of the hardest things about being an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
It's like on the journey, you miss the stability of a check just coming in at the end of the month.
Exactly.
Of like being able to take days off, being able to be sick, being able to travel and still get paid. But I think ultimately the payoff is worth it. That's how I feel right now. It's like the life that I get to enjoy is worth it. And I'd rather live this life than the life I was living then.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see something that you've created flourish.
Exactly.
See it become something that impacts in people's lives. See it become something that, like, you look back and you're like, wow, look at the journey. Like, God has been good. There have been hard times, but like the fact that you have persevered and got through at least over some of it, you've gone through some of the challenges and come out on the other side. I tell Adeola all the time, like, I feel like with running a business, I use all the parts of myself. Like when I was doing my job, I used to tell her I use like less than 50% of my brain. But like running a business, it demands so much of you. I feel like I'm smarter. I feel like I'm a better problem solver. I feel like I'm more effective than I ever would have been in the corporate
pray
world.
more.
That's it.
you fast.
If you want to get closer to God, be an entrepreneur.
We pray.
Your faith will
We
be
pray.
tested.
Hey.
Is it 3 days of fasting? Now it's small thing. Make it 7 days.
Oh my gosh, we pray so much for the showcase.
I think we prayed about 6 times, if not more.
Like we were pray.
Setting time at 12
Every
o'clock.
week we
Okay,
had
let's get-
fasting. Like every week, one day of the week we'll be fasting.
Exactly.
Because I think in business you realize that you can't do it by yourself.
At all.
You
know
can't do
that
it by
parable
yourself.
of the it's not a parable, but where Peter went to fish. You know how we say they toiled all night. I mean, he's a fisherman. That means he knows the water. You know how like entrepreneurs are like, oh, I know what I'm doing. But there are times that it will test you like this. And he said, okay, Jesus came and then he said, cast your nets. He said, cast your nets. But then the amount of fish he caught for a fisherman that is supposed to know the water. So I'm like, for this entrepreneur journey, sometimes you feel like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And then challenges would come. You'd be like, Father, be here. Help your daughter before I lose it.
Yes.
So you really test your faith.
To the end of yourself. Like when you're like, I've done all that I can, it can only be you, Lord.
Exactly.
It can only be you. And we've been in that situation so many times, so many challenges that we're like, God, how will we get through this? It can only be you.
And he always shows up.
Always. Perhaps not in the way you think you will,
Exactly.
but somehow you get through that season and you're like, I didn't think I could make it, Lord.
Exactly.
But like when God comes into the situation, like you get to give that over. There's rest there. Because when you're trying to do it all, I control this business fully by myself. Like you take on so much stress and so much anxiety. But when you hand it over, it's like, okay, God, you see me through this, you see me through that, and me this the other side. Surely you'll get me through this current challenge. And like always, God gets us through the other side. And I'm grateful for that.
Okay, so how do you handle like downtimes of running a business? Obviously, when you have a 9-to-5 role, you know that at the end of the week or at the end of the month, you get your pay coming in. But for when you're an entrepreneur, sometimes there is months where it's like what's happening?
I think, yeah, we have been through many hard months where it's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We've even been through months where the business is struggling to cover its own expenses, struggling to cover basic things like email services, Adobe, all of those things. And I think sometimes it's been a loan to the business from our personal finances. And we found that thankfully, we're both skilled in other things. So Ronke is also a photographer. She's also a writer. And so sometimes that looks like taking, okay, a photography job here, a writing job here, and balancing that with kind of what you're doing. For me, I'm obviously a solicitor as well. And so sometimes, and for a long time, I would pick solicitor jobs. So I would take a case here and there. I consult for a firm here in Manchester. And so if there is a case that I'm interested in or that someone comes to me directly and I think I can do, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll earn this much. That'll get me through this month. That's how we've balanced it, is by having other sources of income. People always say have multiple streams of income. So we have multiple streams of income. And that's, for me, law stuff and the business and event planning even. And then for me, that's photography, writing, and the business as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, we balance it. So I think the business sometimes isn't enough to sustain us. And like Adeola said, we have a really supportive family. So we live with our parents and they cover most of our expenses. So it's really to survive. And I think just we're in a situation or in a season where we're learning to be wiser financially. There was a period where we were dependent on credit cards for some of that time where it was down. And luckily we're getting out of that season, but also trying to plan ahead. Okay, we foresee January is usually quiet. How are we going to survive that season of January where it's quiet? Are we saving up now? What jobs are we putting in place to help us go through that season? Or what things are we planning on doing in advance of that point? So just planning ahead and being a bit strategic with how you're managing your finances as well.
That's really good. I feel like for people like us, even though I do have multiple income streams, I think for the longest time I've only just had one income stream. And I was saying to myself recently, I think when I started doing my 30 days of 30 things I've learned, and I was, you know how you look back and I'm like, wait, why did I have just one income stream? I had no business having one income stream. So right now I'm being more conscious and intentional about adding multiple.
If I may ask, what are your multiple at the moment?
No, I'm being intentional. Doesn't mean it's. No,
It's not come to fruition yet.
I've got an ebook I'm releasing soon, so that's one. And then I'm just trying to work on my YouTube channel to see if we can get that going.
We're along a similar path of trying to do some content creation. That's something that I think every business owner in this day and age has to be good at. And if you already have to be good at it for your business, why not also use it for yourself?
As well.
And so we've been very intentional about kind of talking about the city and the things that we do, because I think we lead very interesting lives, and it's about how can you monetize kind of the things that you're already doing already.
I'm amazed how much you can monetize, which is what I've been thinking, why have I not monetized anything? You know how people ring you up for, how do I do my business? And I'm just giving free advice, hours on the phone. I'm there are people, there was someone I spoke to on, was it Sunday? They're can I just quickly when they say quickly, it's an hour. We're on the phone for almost 2 hours. I'm this is not quick anymore. Although I'm so sorry to take all your time, and then they continue. I'm so sorry to take your time, and then they continue. And she's she did a course from someone on TikTok, and they're doing, I think there was one where how to start your business and set up. I'm wait, hang on, that's a course. And I'm doing it for free. So I'm that's something I could monetize. And then there was another one where they'll show you how to do t-shirts.
Print
the
printing,
demand.
yeah.
I'm you're kidding me. I could literally teach that as well. So I'm please send me the person's link. Let me just have an idea of how people, Even the ebook, I've been sitting on this ebook for a long time. My partner is you've gone through a lot to not have a book by now. And then I was watching someone on YouTube, and she's she has an ebook coming up. I'm wait, hang on. I've only just started watching this girl and she already has a book. I'm nah, I'm not sleeping on this anymore. Let's get this going.
All the ideas.
So I'm I'm saying that. I mean, from next year, hopefully, I should be able to get a lot more things.
It's a time where people really want to learn. I think we're self-teaching a lot.
Yeah.
So I think courses are more popular than ever before. Like, I'm always seeing a TikTok ad about like courses.
Exactly.
So I think that's definitely a really good.
Or them like they're pre-recorded courses.
The pre-recorded courses are like webinars. Because I think like it's funny because like over the course of entrepreneurship you pick up so much knowledge. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's only when you're speaking to somebody who's maybe considering it and you're like, wow, I forgot I knew this.
Yeah.
I forgot I knew that. I forgot like I've been through so much. Like I could literally like whenever we're talking sometimes I was like, wow, we know so much. Like we should share this knowledge with people. Like, you know, what are the ways in which you can do that? I think it's a really smart idea. Like, yeah.
And sometimes you don't know how it would benefit when you actually share that knowledge. So I'm like, yeah, let me share it, but then just post some amount to it so people kind of value your time. So what's the best and worst business advice you've had in your years of running your business?
Worst.
Good pieces of advice though. Yeah. One good piece are all not all mentor, but a mentor that we've had in the past. He said like it's important to take care of yourself. Like so when we started working with him, he was like, okay, what's your survival budget? What's your relaxed budget? Like what does it take for you to live a life that you're happy with? And he made us pull together those budgets, and then he said you have to take care of this first, then you can take care of your business. And his point was that he sees a lot of entrepreneurs that give everything to the business, then they start struggling personally, and that takes them down. Because how can you take care of a business if you can't take care of yourself? You've got to make sure that like you have a little something. And I think we both save money before we quit our jobs, but honestly we spend that money faster. You know, it's like we quit the jobs, but we kept living the life of having a job. So the money blew out of our account so much faster than we thought, and then we were like, Lord, the times are hard out here. And the business wasn't making as much money as we expected. You know, I remember when we quit the jobs, we quit in July. I remember saying, oh, by December, I'll be making enough money as my old salary. Then, and my plan was, Ronke will continue on the business and I'll go back to my corporate life, you know, because I was like, oh, I still like law. Like, I'm not mad at it. But then, I was like, wow, it takes a while to make money.
I know.
You know? So, yeah, I think it's just interesting. But I think, that advice around taking care of yourself, calculating what it takes to pay your basic essentials, whether that's a car payment, whether that's, you know, your phone bill, whatever it is, knowing what that number is, knowing, okay, what do I need to do to make sure I have this number and I'm not under pressure, and then it gives you the brain space to think.
Exactly.
You know, so I think that was really good advice. Yeah.
That's really good.
I can't think of a bad piece of advice that we've been given, but I think a bad, almost like narrative that exists is like about this. It's about like competition, like seeing people as your like competition, or you know, keeping an eye on what your competition is doing. I think like for us, one thing that has helped us is like to have a very like collaborative mindset, and not viewing people who do the same thing as us as necessarily competition. Yeah, we exist in the same space, but even between like us, Cultureville, and you, M.A.Dkollection, we exist in the same space. But like in the times that we've come together, we've learned so much from you. I remember when we did our roundtable, you were so generous with like your knowledge, like, and you really taught us a lot about how like you've been able to scale a business, or shipping methods that work for you versus don't work for you. And that taught us a lot. And like, rather than going in with this like competitive spirit, you learn so much more, you grow so much more when you're open and you're willing to be collaborative. Because it's not African brand versus African brand. We're competing against so many. Let's align.
Do you know, that's one thing
and
I always think
strengthen.
about. Exactly. When
Like-
people say, oh, my competition, I'm like, do you know who we're competing with? People sitting in boardrooms,
Yes.
making decisions about like the small businesses. Like, I mean, well, yeah. So when people say all those competition things, I'm like, girl, sit down.
Yes.
That's not a competition at all.
And honestly,
And
like,
that's a mindset shift people need to have, especially as small businesses. I would like to think especially as Black-owned businesses as well, because I see quite a lot with like Black-owned businesses, and they're like, oh, they're doing the same thing. I'm like, so? Yeah,
but it took a while to get there. I think it's so ingrained in like the landscape that you almost have to like unlearn it. You have to look into yourself and be like, why am I getting angry that they're using the same princess, you know? Or, you know, we might have had the same idea and executed it at the same time. Like, initially, you want to get your back up because you're like, oh, if they buy from her, they won't buy from me. But that's not the case.
Exactly.
Because if they have enough funds, they can buy from you and her.
Exactly.
And like,
I mean, when you go on Market Street, you buy in H&M, you buy in M&S, you even buy in Primark, Next New Look, like so many shops at the same time. I think I was saying someone recently, and I'm like, so if you can go on Market Street and you have all these shops like next door, is it New Look and H&M are like next door? And I don't know if they have competition or they're worried about it, but people would easily buy from all of those people. And you see like really big brands like ASOS would have really big brands. I saw it recently on Pretty Little Things had they had another clothing brand on their site. I'm like, wait, hang on. These big brands are doing something that we're not doing at small businesses. And I feel like there's enough space and room for all of us to like grow together. But then when people come with that mentality, I'm like,
yeah. And I think it comes down to like a scarcity mindset. Like you don't feel like there's enough to go around, but there's enough
so
room
much.
for all of us.
You know, there are
to
people
be
that don't know what to
successful.
use money for. Wait, have you not seen people that don't know what to use?
I haven't personally encountered them, but I welcome them my way. I welcome
The
them.
uni I went to, I mean, some of those guys didn't have no use for their money. Oh, let's just go. They would literally buy for even people they do not know. That is how, like, is it extravagant? Especially when you have, like, governors' children. Or, I mean, these are politicians' kids that have no use for money. I'm like, and I'm here with my, how many, few thousands. I mean, there are people that, so when people come with that scarcity mindset, I'm like, I can't relate.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
And I think it's about like being as like generous as you can. I was listening to a preach the other day that you recommended to me, and it was just like, even if like me and you have the same like recipe, like what is in me and the way I will do it and bring it to life is completely different to the way that you will bring
Exactly.
it to life. Like I have all my experiences, all the methods that I've learned before, all of the things that I've gone through. And so the way that I will interpret the knowledge that I've been given or the things that I've gained will be completely different to the way you will do it. And we can each have our source. You can't be me. There's only one of me. And I can't be
Exactly.
you. There's only one of you. And so like this idea of like gatekeeping or somebody can't, that's, you're blocking your own blessings.
Exactly.
Because by being free, by being generous, it'll create more room for all of us. And so I think in terms of where we're going next, that's kind of like what we want to be doing, like encouraging the sharing of knowledge, the sharing of resource, this growth that together I can give you like a little boost. And then when I need it, you can give me a little boost and we get to grow together when we don't see each other as competition anymore, but actually see each other as like allies, collaborators, encouragers, like community. And that's what we try to do with like both Cultureville and Trailblazers, like create a community where we're hyping each other up. So when we go into a room, we have a bit more confidence. We have a bit more like, you know, like just that feeling of like, okay, I'm not doing this alone. I have my people behind me who are encouraging me.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will make things easy.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so let's take it back to like 2019. What would you have done differently, or what do you know now that you wish you knew then?
Oh, there's a lot of things I would have done differently. Like, come to think of it, I think I would have, it comes down a lot to strategy. I think that I would have done differently. I think before I went full time on the business, I would have spent a lot more time developing our customer base, like really building a good like mailing list of people, a good customer base, like really getting that understanding of our customer, what pieces they want, and like really like understanding how best to serve them. I think in our first collection, we did like 20 pieces. Like we ordered loads of pieces of each
It was
item.
30. It was like 10 of the peplum dress, 10 of the bridal long one.
Were they like
10
different
of the
prints or the
blazers.
same
Same
thing?
prints,
Okay.
actually. So we decided on starting small with the 2 female, 1 male. And then we did like other samples.
Other
that we weren't
samples.
100% sure.
But I think our problem was we hadn't like done enough like testing of the product before going to like a full production run. So when it came, the sizes were completely off. Like we hadn't tested our size guide enough. to really know, okay, this is accurate before going into a full production run. Like, I think we did too many pieces for what was the start without any guarantee that there was like a real demand for the kind of products that we wanted.
Yeah.
We hadn't built up our production team enough to be like, okay, for them to get that replicability across every item, across all the different sizes. So I think I did develop our production a lot more to make it like a stronger production team, but also like the bits behind it, the size guide, the sampling process, trying it out in 3 different sizes and seeing how getting real customer feedback. I would do a focus group to find out what pieces our customers like the most rather than leaning just like on our internal team. There's a lot that I would do, but really like it was the strategy. Also planning for our money, like the exact same way that Adeola's described. What do we need to survive? How much do we need? How much roadmap do we have? Being wiser with our spending. And those first months after going full time, it was easy. You know, we were dinner, holiday girls, and we continue to be dinner, holiday girls. You know, it's a lifestyle shift, and like being more cognizant of the fact that like, okay, things will need to change if you really, really want to do this.
Exactly.
So I think I would have tried to get mentors early as well. I think mentors have helped us further down the line, where it almost feels like they came in at a time where it was too late to help us. Like some of the things that they would advise or that they would want to help us with are things that are almost we're past the point. Because at the point that we've made those mistakes already. You know, we're no longer like a 1-year business or a 2-year business. We're a 3-4-year business trying to fix year 1 problems. And so I think like that's a problem as well. Like in terms of, I think it's really, really important. Like Bible says there's like wisdom in a multitude of advisors. So having people who are further down the journey than you are, that you can speak to so that you don't make the same mistakes, that you can ask questions. And I think what we're building now, like having a community of people you can go to, like, you know, one of the designers in Trailblazers was asking, I don't know what shipping to use for international shipping. And you gave him such a breakdown. Wow. That thing impressed me so much. You did DHL. These are the pros, these are the cons. UPS, these are the pros, these are the cons. This is what I need to ship into this. This is what I said, wow, this is a learning, even for me that's been doing this. And it's like, think about how much you would spend learning all of those lessons individually.
The amount of money I lost.
The customers that would be disappointed, the stress, the impact on you, the toll on you as you deal with all of that, the products that might be lost. There's so much that he could have lost in that process, but that's something that he was able to ask the question. We're able to give him an answer based on your years of experience. And that's just one area. Imagine if you have mentors for different things and different areas.
Exactly.
You know, as we've grown, we've had like a finance mentor that knows about that. We've had one who's in the creative industry who's able to give us advice on, okay, these are the grants you should be applying for. These are the places where you can get free money to test your idea. You know, we were able to get like a £5,000 grant in lockdown. Like Ronke said, there was an organization that gave you money to test ideas when we started. £500 they gave us. But even little money like that helps you. You need all of that money. Instead, when we were working, we're saving all our money. So we'd get our salaries and we both like be like, okay, you put in X amount, I'll put in X amount for my salary, and then we'll put that into the business. And it's like we put the money in, but we're making so many mistakes. I think we're like putting the money in, but the money was just coming back. So I don't know, like it's like we put so much investment. I'm sure if we had to go back and calculate the amount that we put in those early days, it would be in the thousands.
Exactly.
And I don't think that we actually saw that return on investment. And I think if we'd had the right mentors to guide us through that time, perhaps we don't have made those same mistakes. And so it's just such a shame. Like, you know, when you look back on it, I think I'd get a mentor earlier. Yeah, that's what I would tell myself. Mentorship early, taking care of yourself. And
Well, how do you find a mentor?
I think it depends on the mentor. Like, I think some of them are very good. Some of them you have to identify what it is that they are good at. And I think you have to be clear on what you want out of that mentor.
No, so what I mean is how
How do you find one period?
The way we were able to, we found our mentors in different ways. So I think it's number one, you have to be out there. You have to see the work that they're doing in order for you to know whether or not this is the kind of person that you want to mentor you. I think for us, we did a course at church and we're able to meet a woman who had built her business to a really good level and she had revenue of millions. And hearing her speak, particularly for us from a Christian perspective, really highlighted that she would make a good mentor. But I think you also have to understand yourself and how you take feedback and critique, because like that's also an important part of the journey. It has to be someone you can learn from.
I just want to say that the way that we went about getting her as a mentor, it wasn't like it was part of the program, but I remember the day you went to ask her and you said, oh my goodness, I love the way you speak. I love the way you share knowledge. I would love for you to be our mentor. And at that time she didn't know us either. So she was even giving us a little bit of side eye. Like, she was like, you know what, we can have a coffee and we'll just see, or something like that. And I think initially we even paid for the mentorship. I think it was like, I can't remember how much it was, maybe £30 per session. Not a lot, just enough to cover her time that she was giving to us, etc. And we did that for a little while. But like, I think even summoning up the courage to go and ask her was difficult because she was a powerhouse of a woman. And then when we have the mentorships, criticism, and you need to be like, criticism makes you better. You need to be open to it.
Even to just
She'd be like,
struggle.
on those, so this is how many visitors you have on your website? She said, I get this in a day.
So you get this in a month.
You get this in a month. And we used to use this free email service, Zoho. Oh my gosh.
That's right.
Ask us to look for an email. We'll be searching for the emails because we can't find it.
Because we're using this like
free services.
She said you need to get Gmail.
Yes.
I'll send you a link. You need to do that today.
Like Gmail for business.
Gmail for business. Because we're using Zoho. Yeah.
But it's using any good.
The best.
So fantastic.
Have you tried Anything? Klaviyo?
No, I haven't used Klaviyo. I've heard good things.
I've heard,
but we, for our
like at Cultureville,
at
Trailblazers, we use Gmail,
and I really have
Gmail is
nothing but good
fantastic.
things to say.
Yeah, they are really fantastic, and we use them not just for the email. Since it sounds like a Gmail ad, but like we use them not just for the email services, but we also use them for like the Drive, which is like a really easy way to share things. So when we're doing documents or pictures,
are you able to see like analytics on people that are like for Cultureville you're using Gmail?
Yeah, for Cultureville.
So are you able to see that level of detail with the analytics?
Yes. So for Cultureville we're using Gmail, but you can still access things like we also use MailChimp. We use there's a service where you can Google search insights, where you can see like who's been to your website, Google Search Console as well, where you can see like, okay, what were they searching for, what were the keywords that they entered into to be able to get to your website. You can do a keyword analysis, you can do a competition analysis. So there's a lot of tools.
So
and I don't
show
think
you like returning customers, how much they bought, all those.
Our website
like,
is hosted on Shopify. So on Shopify, we get to see all that information anyway. We get to see the insights on Shopify.
I mean, from like email marketing.
For email marketing, we use MailChimp.
Yeah.
So MailChimp gives us that insight as well.
So it's crazy because it sounds like so much tech, but for our website, Shopify, for our emails, like how we send emails and receive emails, we use Gmail for just normal day-to-day emails. For group emails to our customers, we use MailChimp. And so MailChimp can send to like we can segment the audience how we want, and then it can tell us about.
Is MailChimp linked to Shopify? Because I know there was a time it
removes.
I used to use MailChimp like many years ago. And then there was that disconnection with Shopify.
They stopped their partnership.
Yeah.
We tried using Shopify Mail for a bit. We didn't like it. And so we moved back to MailChimp.
Okay.
I don't think Shopify Mail is really
it was
as
not
much of a thing.
effective.
I think they tried to build their own system, and I'm not sure that it worked.
But
No,
MailChimp
it's not
still
good.
like works in terms of telling us like who clicked the link, where they clicked the link,
How much did they read of your email that you sent out? What did they click to buy? How much did they spend? And what customers are no longer engaging with your content? What customers are no longer opening? I think it gives you a lot of data around who you're kind of sending out emails to. Yeah, so we use MailChimp for that. But I think
MailChimp is also reasonably priced, to be fair. Yeah.
I think they've recently changed their pricing.
they recently
I mean,
changed.
compared to Omnisend or Klaviyo.
How much are those?
Expensive. It depends on the amount of
People.
subscribers you have.
Okay.
Because then when I used to use MailChimp, I think I was on the free version or something.
Yes. Are we still on the free version?
For Cultureville, we're still on the free version. For
Trailblazers,
we're
why
on
not?
paid.
Yeah.
Because I think we did Cultureville really, really early into MailChimp's journey.
Yeah.
So then because of that, like, their new plans aren't like the same as their old
But if you
plan
were there
before,
from
then the plan that you were on, you can stay with it.
You can stay
So
on that
you can
plan.
stay on that plan.
Yeah.
So we're still on that plan.
Yeah.
So
what was I going to say? I think like one of the pieces of advice would be also to invest in the right things early. Like some things, you know, you really want to go for the cheapest version. For me, the website, I really, at the point I was building the website, I remember I wanted to go for whatever was free. Because I remember that even though I was hopeful that it would make money, I remember also having a mindset like, I don't want to be spending money every month on something that I'm not sure will make money.
Exactly.
So I would rather just have a free version. And I remember the website designer, Ronke, was asking for certain like functionalities that he wasn't able to do on the free versions he was seeing. So I think he tried WordPress, he tried something else, and in the end he moved to Shopify. And I remember when he moved to Shopify, I was like, oh, we've got 2 months free, but then after that you have to pay, I think, £30 for it. I said, what? Why would you put us on a system where we have to pay monthly payments? Like, I don't want to enter anything like that. Well, you know what? As we have grown, I have been so grateful for Shopify. I love Shopify so much.
I got someone to like build the website.
Yes.
It was a headache.
Oh my gosh.
And then I'm like, why? And then I don't even know how I found Shopify. It just came up somewhere. I'm like, let me even just check.
Yes.
I'm like, wait, I've been sleeping on this thing since. So these days, when I hear people saying, oh, I'm trying to get someone to build a website, I'm like, what are you doing?
You
Just
can do
go
it
on
yourself.
Shopify.
Yeah.
See, just get
he
on
left in the
there.
middle, didn't he? So he did like the first iteration, and then he traveled back to Nigeria. And I remember we had to pick
And all
it
the
up.
back and forth that you
Yeah,
go
the back
through.
and forth that you do, because you have to send your website designer all the pictures, all the info, all the, like you send so much that it's like, I may as well just do it myself.
Stressful, yeah.
And then you have changes. You might change the
Exactly.
price. You might do a sale. You might do, and then
And you have to keep going back and forth.
no,
all of this.
it's just better.
So when
you
I
know
hear
how to do
people
it.
saying I'm like,
No,
just
do
get on
it yourself.
Shopify.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I think
Shopify looks complicated.
no, it's really
Is
not.
it because you have an IT background? I say no.
No.
Just go on there. It's
I think it can be intimidating if
Yeah, to be
you
fair.
are
When you
not
have to, like,
comfortable
change
with
the codes
technology.
at the back,
Yes,
yeah.
but like everything has a YouTube tutorial.
Exactly.
Like everything has a YouTube tutorial, and actually being able to do it ourselves is giving us more insights into our business. If we need
exactly.
any information, we can go to the background, check everything ourselves, and we're not relying on somebody else to tell us how to run it, like our business,
Exactly.
or beholden to someone that'll be like, okay, if they want to increase their price tomorrow, now what will you do if you don't know how to do it yourself? I think that's something else that we've really incorporated into our business. We learn as much about every area as we can before handing it over to somebody else to run for us.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes, invest in the right things, but also have that background knowledge. So somebody can't come and tell you something
Exactly.
and
They
be
can't
telling you a
bamboozle you.
story. Yes,
Exactly.
you go in with your eyes wide open. Even like with paid ads, we wanted to learn it ourselves so that if
Just
tomorrow
yeah.
you're gone, we know how to run it. And like, I think in a lot of areas of our business, we know enough to go into it with knowledge and speak about it with the insight that like we actually know what we're talking about.
I definitely agree with that. I think one of the first things when we first started the business, we're trying to book a photographer for our business. Then you weren't doing it professionally, and like the prices were here for photographers. Ronke was like, you know what, Adeola, I think I can do this thing myself. I was like, Ronke, I'm not sure. Like I was so doubtful. I was like, but we're broke, so I was like, you know what, we did well. No, we're still working then, but there was a limit to how much we wanted to invest because
especially when you're just starting.
Especially when you're just starting, you're like,
cost
how much
actually adds up.
Yes,
Modeling
it does.
cost actually
Modeling
adds
cost, all of those things. I was just like, whoa, because we'd already paid the website designer. So the website designer did a package deal for us. He did the website, he did a photo shoot. It really made sense. He did a video for us. And he packaged it on one price. He left halfway through. So now we're down to doing, our second photo shoot. And Ronke was like, you know what? I think I can do this thing myself. I was like, I'm not sure you can. We did it. It was an absolute disaster.
Hot mess.
Hey,
Terrible.
Got to the studio. She didn't know how to
Everything
set up the
shadow.
lights. We used a white background. There were so many shadows. Hey, bad photo shoot. Waste. Then we said, you know what? Let's bring somebody who can teach you. So the next time we hired a photographer at a reasonable rate. And we said, not only do we want you to take pictures, we want you to show Ronke how to set up the lights in the studio herself. So that it's not a one-time thing. So he came, he showed her. And ever since then, she's been doing our photo shoots. And that has been a huge money saver, time saver.
If we need to do
a shoot, she'll just be like, she'll just call this person, meet in the park, and I'll go take the pictures.
Yeah.
And that has been like our pictures
Because
on our
sometimes
website.
you also have an idea
Yes,
of
what you
how
want to
you
do.
want the creative to turn out.
So like,
because even with the photographer, you still have to explain your vision to them.
yes,
And sometimes
yes.
they might get it. Sometimes it's like,
And no one cares about your business as much as you do.
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing. No one cares as much as you do.
Mm.
So it's so useful to be able to understand different things for yourself. No one will care as much as Ronke to go on SEO, be checking this, be testing this many ads, and she understands it for herself. And if something really matters to us, she's like, okay, she can just decide tonight, I'm going to run an ad for this, that event, and she'll just go do it because she knows how to. And there's no replacement. If you start calling somebody to do it for you, it's not their business. Like, they don't care as much as you care.
And then you bring on their time. Yeah,
No, apart from that, even the cost, like, you know how much ads agency charge? It's a lot. So, like, I'm like, let me just sit down on YouTube and
learn. And like, YouTube has been a great tool. If there's anything I don't know, I'll say, Adeola, let me just check on YouTube.
Exactly, real quick.
I'll just YouTube it. And like, you know, even to your thing about getting a mentor, and mentors who know what they're talking about, you know, like we have been lucky because through the BIPC, they offer like some mentorship courses. I was able to meet a mentor and he didn't know, he runs a magazine, so he's a creative, but he doesn't deal with the nitty gritty of the everyday business. He hires people for that. But I was just like, oh, I want to learn more about running ads. And he connected me with the person who runs ads for Glastonbury Festival. And that guy did a few sessions with me and he took me deep into the background of like Facebook ads library, Google ads. And he taught me step by step, okay, you want to run an ad? This is what you should do. This is the most effective. We recorded the whole session. I have it on my laptop. If I ever forget, I can go back and like watch the video. But that has helped us so much. Every time we run ads, I use the tools that he gave me from that time. It's been a couple of years now, but it's that same like the principles that he's taught me. I can add to it on YouTube, I can add to it on Google, but it's that the base knowledge of this looks so complicated, I don't know how to go about it. And he broke it down for me. And that's the beauty of mentorship. Like whatever you need to learn, your mentor can direct you to the right people or leverage their connections to help you. And luckily he didn't charge me for any of that. It was just something
good,
through the BIPC, and the sessions have been so helpful. And like I still use that for every ad that I run for Cultureville and Trailblazers. It's the knowledge that he's given me, and like that's what mentorship can do. It can sustain your business for years to come. Just off of that knowledge.
I think there's other places that you can get mentorship. So there's incubators, accelerators. NatWest runs one. It's a free one. I've been seeing the ads.
Is it the 8 weeks one?
Yes, I don't know how long it is actually, but I know a few people that have done it.
I think I tried it one time. It was just after COVID. I didn't get through because they would have to interview you or something. I didn't even know what I wanted to get out of it because I feel like you also need to know
what you want. I mean, I think look at what it is they're saying they're going to do. Look at what the time commitment is, because accelerators can take a lot of time as well. And it's like, do I have this time to commit? But sometimes it can be worthwhile. Like the NatWest one, I know they give you office space at the end. So you get a space in the NatWest building here in Manchester where you can go and work from. You get a mentor. You get training on specific things. And I think sometimes there's accelerators and incubators are about who you meet on the journey. Like, you know, on some of the ones, there's one I did in lockdown with Manchester University. It was called a high growth network for high growth businesses in Manchester. Again, it was free to me. But on that program, I met other people, like not even the leaders of the course, but other people who are doing things. Like there was a lady who was in marketing. Her job was like around Google SEO. We still talk now. Her name is Moira. The leaders of the course, Neil, he helped us. He got on a call with us about how we should be testing £5 ads. And we're like, £5? And he was like, yes, £5. Test £5 ads. See what converts. Do more of what converts. Do that again. Do that again. Do that again. Replicate it. A/B. We're like, wow, we didn't even think we could test with like this tiny money, you know? So like, I think look around you and see what's going on. Incubators, accelerators, Lloyds Bank. We got a mentor who was a director at Lloyds Bank and he helped us a lot. He's the one that gave us that finance advice about calculating what you need. How else have we got in mentors? But there's a lot of ways you can get mentors and they don't always have to be paid for. And
also, you go ahead.
I wonder if you were going to say what I was going to say. Sometimes if you...
No, you go.
If you see someone that you like that's just ahead in your journey, don't be afraid to reach out to them and say, hi, please, this is who I am. This is what I do. I'd love to have a coffee with you. Take them out for a coffee. Talk to them about what your goals are. And I think most importantly in every mentorship journey, for people I mentor and for people who mentor me, it's important for the mentee to know what they want out of the mentor. Whenever we go to any mentorship meetings, we come with a clear clear idea of what it is we're hoping to achieve after that meeting, I think about who my mentor is and how they can assist me. And I say, these are the things I'm struggling with. Can you help me with any of them? And sometimes they might not be able to help you directly. They might know somebody else who can help you, like in Ronke's case, and they might connect you to that person, and that's all they can do. Or they might be able to help you directly. And sometimes after a while, one thing that our back mentor always used to say is like, just let me know when this isn't useful for you. Just let me know when I'm not helping you anymore. Because sometimes you do need to take a break. Maybe they're giving you advice. You're not having time to implement. Take some time to implement. Take some time to think about what they're saying. A lot of mentorship relationships as you grow older, it doesn't have to be like, I meet you once every 2 weeks, or I meet you once every month. It can be, hey, I have this question. Do you have time for a call? And that can be 3 times a year. Do you understand? And you just stay in touch. And I think it's those are the pieces of advice I would give for
Yeah, and I think also with mentor relationships, it's okay for it to come to an end. Like if you find that the mentor and the way you're communicating it isn't like, it's not serving you or serving your business, or because sometimes like communication styles are different, and like having like a mentor that's really, really harsh, whereas you need someone who can deliver things softly. Maybe you come away with it and like you're completely depleted by the like negative like when someone gives you so much negative feedback that you come away, you're like, oh, I'm rubbish, my business is rubbish, like I'm doing nothing good. Maybe that's the time that you can be like, it's
this
okay,
might not be right
like
for me.
it's
not
not
at
a
this
good
stage
fit.
of my life.
Yeah,
Especially like when you're still like growing.
Yeah,
or
like you
early
still
days. The last thing you want is like harsh mentors.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good.
They're good.
But-
Tough love sometimes is
It's okay,
important.
but you
but
can
it's
still
not,
deliver that message and not be that tough.
Yeah. And actually learning that like you don't have to stick around if you're not liking the way it's being received.
Because I think we've had both sides of the spectrum. We've had a mentor who's too harsh. We've had a mentor who's too nice. Where you just feel like you're just hanging out.
We're not friends. Like, come on, we'll sit for 2 hours, chit chat, haha.
I get onto this meeting, nothing.
Exactly.
I it's good to have friends, but I don't want in a mentorship relationship. So you really have to think about, am I still getting something out of this mentorship relationship?
And if it's not serving both parties, it's okay to like be like, okay, we can be friendly, but we don't have to be mentee.
And sometimes it just fizzles out, is what I would say.
And it does. It's like any other relationship. But I think always try to like serve, even if you're the mentee and you're receiving from this relationship, in whatever way that you can, like help your mentor out. Maybe it's to like, oh, I met this person, I thought they'd be great for your business. Don't just be like a taker. Like nobody just wants to be like, sucked from like, maybe it's a thank you card, maybe it's the coffee that you pay for. Little ways that you can like add to your mentor just to make it a positive experience for them as well. That's also good, and like add into their lives as well. Yeah.
That's really good. I feel like I'm learning a lot. I see by the time I finish this podcast.
You're ready to deliver your course.
Honestly. Webinar loading. So what's next for Cultureville and Black Trailblazer?
I think we are with Cultureville, we're at a crossroads really at the moment. So we've identified areas where our production could be developed in order for us to be able to scale to the next level of where we want to see our business growing. I think ultimately we want to see Cultureville like stocked in a bunch of different stores, having that replicability across all like our items. If you get a Cultureville item from Manchester today, you can see it in, I don't know, Birmingham tomorrow, you can see it in Italy the following day, and it has the same quality and it has like the same finishing and it has the same excellence. And right now we feel like our production isn't able to do that to the level that we want. And so we're really like doing a lot of shuffling and reevaluation behind the scenes of how we're going to run our production. And so we're really at a crossroads as to, right now it's a really difficult landscape with like our business and a lot of fashion businesses, because for us everything is produced in Nigeria. The cost of DHL has gone up like 5 times in the last 18 months.
Cargo shipping has tripled.
It's like ridiculous, and right now we're absorbing that cost for our customers, but it's either we'll have to raise our prices, which might again cost us to lose some of our customer base, or pass that on to our customer. And so I think we're just like evaluating kind of where we go from here, knowing the amount of investment it would take to really shift our production to the level that we want it to be, and having the people, the the expertise on the production to be able to do that is also like something that will require a lot of investment. And so I think we're just like really evaluating what we do next and whether it's time to hang up like the business and know that, you know, we're happy with what we've done so far with it and focus fully on Trailblazers, or whether to make that investment of time, energy, effort, you know, like of ourselves, because it's almost like starting again. And I think right now we have Black Creative Trailblazers, which is doing amazing. With Trailblazers, you know, we really want to like focus on empowering our creatives and empowering our community. So we're doing a lot of events. We're trying to run a lot more workshops for creatives, be it fashion designers, artists, poets, musicians. We're building a lot of collaborations in and outside the city to like give our creatives a lot more opportunities. And so that requires a lot of us as well. And so choosing where we spend our energy, because we know, you know, we can do it all, but we don't want to just do it all. We want to do it all well. Whatever we choose to do, we want to do it with excellence. And it's like, okay, where can we make the most positive change with the limited energy, time, and finance that we have? Where can we move things the most? And currently, that's the decision we're trying to make. But on both angles, we're trying to improve, develop, and make things better going forward.
Yeah. You answered everything, so I feel like I have nothing to say. You talked about Cultureville, you talked about no, don't be sorry. But like even me, I was enjoying the answer. I was like, oh wow.
But I think that's where we are.
No, I think I'm really excited for next year. I think this year has been our biggest year yet. Like we've worked with, I feel like we've welcomed thousands of people into different spaces across Manchester, and like I've loved it. I really enjoy planning events. Like it is, even when it's extremely stressful, it's such a joy for me. And I think Black Creative Trailblazers really leans into that. And like I've enjoyed building a community. I've enjoyed seeing people learn from each other. People will not make the mistakes that we made when we started Cultureville, and be able to kind of circumvent that. And I think, you know, us having built a business, it puts us in a unique position to understand the things that people struggle with.
Exactly.
And like Ronke being a poet and a photographer and all of those things, it's like that life experience is not wasted. It almost feels like all of that is now being used in this new process. Like nothing is wasted in life, right? Because sometimes I'm like, oh my God, does that mean the last 5 years of building this business was just a waste? But you know, I see that how building Cultureville has fed into what Trailblazers is and how quickly it's grown, because we've been registered for about a year, but I feel like it's grown so quickly. And so I'm just excited to build on that a bit more, and I'm excited to like get funding to do bigger things, and then to teach other creatives how to get funding so they can build bigger things. And I'm just like, I don't know, I just feel like sometimes with the right knowledge, like the future is just like going to be incredible. I think in the last year we've seen like, you know, one of our creatives got about £13,000 of funding to go research textiles or something, and he didn't even know about funding when he first started coming to our workshops. He learned about it, he said his idea, he met, you know, one of the funders, and next thing he's got in the funding. And I just, things like that blow my mind, because I know that
where did you get 13,000 followers?
Through the new YCP fund, so the Develop Your Creative Practice Fund from Arts Council. You can apply for up to 12.
For fashion?
They don't technically do fashion, but I know his project is to do with textiles. And actually right now he's using that fund. He's in Nigeria researching textiles, which is absolutely amazing. And so I think
they do costumes.
When you say researching textiles, is he not a fashion designer?
No, he's not. He's not. He's just interested in African textiles. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's not a fashion designer. Yeah.
So, because what I find is, especially like fashion designers, there's not a lot of funding.
Because they will send you to the British Fashion Council, and the British Fashion Council has no funds.
Exactly, because like we sat down the other day, or like, I mean, a lot of people are talking about like grants and
there's not a lot
the
of fashion.
way we're combing the internet. I'm like, so we
have to be creative with it. Yeah. I think there's funds that you can apply for, but they're more creative funds than fashion. Creative. Yes. So I think if you're after creative funds, there's a lot happening right now.
But then when you say creative, how does that link into the fashion space? Because you have to be able to...
I think that fashion is creative. I think the issue with Arts Council is that So Arts Council works alongside other government organizations, right? They believe they're for the arts and creativity, but there's also the BFI, the British Film Institute. I don't even know if that's what I stands for. And there's the British Fashion Council. they won't encroach on anything film related. They won't encroach on anything fashion related.
Because they all
just as
get the national
they all get money from
lottery
somewhere
funding.
that like they feel like, okay, fashion, you're on that side, film, you're on that side, we were everything else that's creative, right? So then you have to think about, how can I present my idea or the things that I'm trying to do in a way that doesn't feel like fashion. Right?
Because then they won't fund that.
Yeah.
So I think even for the showcase this year, we didn't apply for any funding for the fashion element.
Yeah.
What we applied for
the poetry
was
the
poetry, music,
the
art.
the development workshops, our fees as producers, things like that we were able to apply for.
But that development workshop, because that can be fashion as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be, but I think we were very intentional in terms of like, so for our development program, a lot of the creatives who were showcased at the Black Creative Trailblazers Showcase went through an 8-week development program. Each week we brought in different experts to talk to them about different things, from, you know, how to be more confident in their performance, to like how to reach out to like art curators to feature your work if you're an artist.
Tina spoke about her business and building it. So she's built this multi-million-pound business and how she's gotten there, and you know, she gave us like some tools that we could use and some things that we did in workshops. So we brought in successful people in the creative industry to speak to them and develop them and develop their business side. And then the idea is like they went through this program and then it ended up in the showcase, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But we couldn't apply for the fashion side, hence the reason there were no fashion designers
There
on
were
the
no
program.
fashion.
So it was like all the other sides were on the program. Yeah.
But then we applied for that development program. But then the fact that all the other elements of the showcase were covered by this funding, like, you know, we were able to get money for our musicians, for our artists, for our poets. It meant that the money that we generated through ticket sales or our other grants could go towards fashion.
Yeah.
So that was the way we were able to creatively use the Arts Council funding. Like Arts Council, you pay for everything else, and then we will pay out of our other bits of funding and other things that we're applying for, and ticket sales. We'll use that revenue that we've generated to cover the fashion side of it. So then they're covering what their remit is to cover, and then what they can't cover, we will cover. Yeah.
So. And it's so tricky, right? Because how do you understand this? Like, and how do you understand? The first time we applied for Arts Council, we spent ages, and I put fashion. This is going to be a fashion show, and you know, it goes through pre-screening. On the pre-screening level,
eligibility criteria,
we don't fund fashion. And I remember I was so upset. I cried.
What was their reason for not funding fashion?
That they believe you should go to the British Fashion Council.
So essentially, the reason why it works like that is different organizations get national lottery funding. For fashion, the British Fashion Council gets that lottery funding. For arts and creativity, the Arts Council gets that funding.
British Fashion Council actually have any grants at all?
They do, but it's hyper specific.
Yeah, very specific and extremely competitive. I saw it a few months ago. And
Is that the one they gave someone for textiles?
No, that's separate. That's separate. It's they gave, I think it's like 5 designers that could win it, and you won. I can't remember what it was. They do release a fund, but it's only for a short time. Whereas Arts Council is open all year round most of the time, and it's only like there's very few winners. It's not like, the reason why I love Arts Council is like literally you can apply for anything. You have an idea.
What do you do on the Arts Council? Let me see if there's anything I can tweak.
Yes. Even your podcast. Yes. That's something you could apply for. Writing your book. That's something you could apply for.
We don't people that's funded for their books.
Those are all things you can apply to Arts Council for, but not fashion. You can't apply for fashion.
But I think that you do a lot of things creatively outside of fashion.
Exactly.
You can apply for R&D, research and development. Like you want to.
Yeah, because I'm doing that. I mean, did you see me setting up this podcast?
Yes. That is the sort of thing that you can apply to Arts Council for. So they have a fund called Developing Your Creative Practice. So if you're like, I want to learn how to run a podcast. I want to learn about producing elements from editing to starting. Yeah. But in order to do this, I will need a mentor. I will need to spend 10 hours with, someone who's experienced in managing podcasts. I will need to invest in editing tools. I will need to learn how to use the Adobe Creative Suite, so I'll need to do a course for that. You gather up all of the things you need in order to get to the next level of your creative career, and you apply to Arts Council for that fund. That's something they would fund.
And because is it like if you go on Arts Council website, you see all of this?
Yes.
Okay.
So I sent a lot of information about it to the group chat.
They also do like an open forum where you can ask questions and stuff stuff. They have like a monthly drop-in session that you can go to, so you can find out about what they do. You can ask any questions you have. You can speak to them about specific funds. So go to the drop-in to begin with, because the website can be a little hard to navigate if you don't know what you're looking for. It's hard to find that information. And then you get to connect with relationship managers who can help you on your journey as well. So I would say go to the drop-in, meet a couple of the relationship managers, ask any questions you have before then.
Doing the application. The application is tough, I'm not going to lie. DYCP is not tough, but they've just put that the developing your creative practice, that's the one up to £12,000. But the other one they do, which is up to 30,000, so you can apply for up to £30,000. That's the one we go for the showcase, or you can apply for 30,000 to £100,000. Those are harder, much harder. Like honestly, damn near took us out. Like it is really difficult.
So did you get the 30 grand for the showcase?
We got 20 something grand for the showcase. So then hopefully next time we can apply for that 30 to 100,000, if that makes sense. Because
now you'd have proof to show what you used to have stuff for.
So right now we're in evaluation, which means that we're telling them, okay, this is what we did for the showcase. This is how we had an impact. You'll see that we're sending surveys. Please fill in the survey. Let us know what the impact was, etc. And they attended the showcase, so that was good. So two relationship managers attended, and the relationship managers are the ones who sits on the panel who make the decisions about whether or not you get the fund. So the more they understand the work you do, the better they can help you, if that makes sense. So I think, like I said, try and go to a drop-in session. I think one of the things that really helped us was like earlier this year, I think they ran a diversity day. Their offices are in Manchester. Arts Council offices are in Manchester.
They're in town.
So they ran a diversity day where you could come in and you were able to meet so many people from Arts Council. You were able to tell them your idea. For us, we had been rejected twice. So we brought the old application.
They wanted
we
the
don't know why
application
we keep
and told
getting
us
rejected.
why.
And she was able to give, your idea, you're saying it's a showcase. You're saying it's a one-day thing. Sometimes it's not good when it's a one-day thing. What kind of impact will that have? Why don't you show how you're going to help these people beyond one day? Why don't you show what you can do? And we're like, we're already doing that. We have rehearsals with them. We have training with them. We do so many things in the week leading up, but we didn't think about it in terms of a formal
structuring
program and structuring it in their language. And sometimes it's like, it's so hard because you're already doing the thing. Like, look at your podcast now. Look at the things that you've had to learn. Look at the distance you've already gone and what your aspirations are. You're already doing the work, but to get it into their language, to get it in the way that they want to see it, so that it's easy for them to give you that money. That's what you now need to go to the drop-in sessions to try and understand. Any workshops you can attend, any webinars. And then there's a couple of organizations apart from Arts Council that help you. So there's one called HAB, and they will read your application and they will give you feedback. They are very harsh, God. Like, every time
they can be harsh as long as I get the phone.
But you know what? She's harsh,
but she's
honest. When she says you're not gonna get it,
she means it.
You're not gonna get it, and she's usually right.
But she give you feedback for
she'll tell you what to do, and if you give her enough time, you can come back to her again, and she'll tell you what to do. You can come back to her again. So you just book an appointment. It's free of charge. You book it on her website. But she's extremely harsh. Every time we have a session with that woman, we don't touch the application again for weeks. After
you need time straight. Get rid of that. You're chatting too much. She's straight to the point. But she's also like one of the best to write applications, because as soon as she looks at it and she says X, 9 out of 10 times she's right.
She's very pessimistic. So even this our last application, she was even like, she still thinks it's unlikely we'll get it. Whereas before her, there was a guy that helped us the first time we applied. He said, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna get it. This is so fantastic."
Rather the lady brings my head down.
And then when we told him we didn't get it.
Then when we told him we didn't get it, he said,
it happens.
And we were like, "Are you crazy?"
You know how hurt I am. You say it happens.
We were crying.
We're crying like, "Oh my God, we didn't get this fund." And I think the fact that he even gave us so much, you'll definitely get it.
You know when they give you, what's that thing? Hope deferred makes the heart sick or something. I'd rather you tell me I'm not going to get it, and then I get it. I'm more excited.
Yes.
And then you tell me
I cried. Oh my gosh. Because, because of the way he sounded, we have now made our plans as per we're getting getting this
when the funding comes, when the funding.
Pricing monkey on top.
Yes.
Wow, I was, and God, it was only God that helped us that year. 3-4 weeks of the showcase, we're looking for money. Where can we find money? Going to different events, please.
And most times you see that tickets doesn't even
It does.
cover
Tickets. That's one thing you need to know. You're in the events industry. Ticket sales do not pay for events. I'm seeing it all around our city. Warehouse Worship just did that huge, amazing event at Co-op Live. They said ticket sales are not going to touch what this event actually costs.
Exactly.
We are relying on the funding from people, donations from people to pay for the event, and it happens with us every year, no matter how much. Because I think last year we tried really hard to use a pricing model that would pay for the ticket, that would pay for the event. So we increased our prices to the highest ever. I think it was £30 standard, £45 VIP, which we still thought, okay, it's not too bad. Like you were going to get food in it, you were going to enjoy the show in it, all of that, and still, what ends up happening is you price out the people who will be interested, and you sell less tickets. I think we had about 400 people last year or thereabouts. And then you end up with less money. At the end of the day, we had bought all this food. It's like it was coming out of our own pockets. So last minute, we just have to be like, free ticket, you take a ticket, you take it. So it's like you have to sort your prices so that it attracts people while supplementing the funds for that from other places. You know, so it can be really hard. But I think that's why we do a lot of work around finding funds, right? And I think one of the things that we're trying to work on is a place where if you're looking for funds, you can go on our website and you'll have all the funding that's open. And then maybe you can filter by fashion, and it'll show you all the fashion ones. You can filter by art, and it'll show you all the art ones. Because the truth is, there are a lot of funds open. Arts Council is not the only funder. There's one called Grand Plan Fund. They're giving away £1,000. £1,000, it's not bad. There's that one that was open earlier this year, Baobab Fund. They were giving up to, I think, 30,000, and you could apply for it for up to 3 years. Like you could apply, like, I want 30,000 this year, 30,000 next year, and 30,000.
Was it in the fashion space? Was it?
It was any space that was black. Any space that was black. So that one was for any black organization that was doing something that was gonna have maybe like an impact on society or something like that. That was the
I think even within
the
fashion,
impact on society, but when it comes to the fashion space, I'm like, how does that have an impact on society?
you're giving people jobs.
Well, yeah.
Where do you
Because there's an African UK grant. I'm not sure if it's still open, but there's a grant that if you're doing anything collaboration between Africa and the UK, you can apply for a grant.
I think it's 10,000.
And so you do a lot. Your production is also like heavily.
Where do you produce your items?
Nigeria.
Yes. So that's an African UK collaboration. You're hiring people from there. You're passing knowledge that you've gained in the UK
your interns,
back to the people working with you and for you in Nigeria.
And also she started getting people here that are helping.
So that's, you can prove that. So I think sometimes it's like, it might not be the most obvious grants, and private companies also, I think for us, like
when you have a CIC, which is what we are, a non-profit company, you can also go to private companies and they'll give you money. So that's another way that we've gotten funding this year. So we have our sponsors. I think we have two. Just two.
3. MSV.
Oh, MSV. Okay. So we have 3 sponsors that give us money as well, which is helpful because with them, it's not as like you don't have to do like an application that's going to take you
5 years for nothing.
No, you just like, and with that, it's like heavily relationship based. So you can be like, okay, I've met you, we met at an event, I'll tell you about what we do. This is why like it has impact. Let's have a coffee, I'll tell you more. And then if it sounds like something you're interested in, here's our pack. Tell me, I can build something bespoke so you get what you need out of it. And we get what we need out of it.
I might create a photo chat like in
and I think that's a good idea. But with those, it's like relationship based, and like you speak to someone and they're moved by what you do, and there's less barriers. It happens quicker. They pay quickly. You don't have to jump through a million hoops. You just jump through the one
breaks.
You know, like when they're serious, that's private. So we'll just meet someone.
Because I see a lot of companies these days and I see the CIC beside them, like, what is... There was someone I had on the podcast and they said even is it fashion? No, not fashion, but there's a brand that is like not for profit, that is a retail, I think like a wristwatch or something. I'm like, how does that even link into anything? But
Yeah.
I mean, people get really creative when they want things, isn't it? Yeah, so it all has to be
And
really
it's interesting
creative,
because, like, I think, like, like a non-profit attracts a lot of goodwill. And so, like, certain things are like, because, we were doing events, like the Black Creatives event in October. We've been doing it for a while under Cultureville. But I would say this year that we registered as a CIC, I've seen a difference in, like, the funds that we've had access to and that we've been able to open the doors. So we didn't get everything. In fact, we got rejected for probably 80% of the funds we applied to. But again, no experience is wasted. You take the answers that you put in those ones and you use it in the applications for the ones that are still ahead. And hopefully it eventually yields something and you get something. Yeah.
That's really good. Hopefully you've gotten like funding knowledge. This is like a full funding masterclass knowledge.
Literally. Sometimes I feel like we should do a funding masterclass just because
we wanted to do one.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like maybe a funding
We're trying to do one.
Yeah,
we're planning one. Yeah.
So January, early next year, we're going to try and do one and try and get the Arts Council team there as well if we can. Because I think sometimes it's really important to build relationship. There might be questions that you might be able to ask. So Grand Plan Fund, GMCA, like trying to get some of the funds.
Greater Manchester Combined Authority have a fund that is open, I think, including fashion businesses, £2,000.
£2,000 to any creative kind of like, one of the things they want to see is your proof of have you gotten any funds before sometimes and how have you.
But if you've not gotten, does that affect anything?
No, it shouldn't. But they will just ask. There's a question that Arts Council application around have you managed funds before? And obviously for your business you would have managed funds. Like I think it's like have you managed a budget of this size before, something like that. And for us, I said we haven't. So say for example we're applying for 20-something thousand. Okay, have you only ever managed £500? Can we trust you to manage a £20,000 budget and know that okay, you have some sense around it. So with us, I think I put we've not managed a budget of this size, but we've managed smaller budgets. And then they were like, okay, like I mean, I don't know what impact it has on the application, but it's something that you might be able to ask in a drop in. But I think it's just useful when you have a track record of having received funds before. So I think even if it's a small fund, it's worth starting with a small fund and then going for the bigger funds. And I think that's been our approach with Arts Council as well, is that we went for the smaller fund of like the under 30k, and then hopefully we can now show them, okay, this is what we're able to do with that smaller fund. Now we want to go for the bigger fund of over 30k. With you, it might be that you start with develop your creative practice fund, which is up to 12k. You get that one. You then say, okay, I've gotten this money. Now I want to do this big project and I want to apply for 25k or whatever. You get that. Then you say, okay, now I want to apply for 70 or 80,000 because I want to do X, Y, Z, and hopefully that helps. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do our quick fire round session.
Exciting.
Tea or coffee?
Tea. No doubt.
Okay. Routine or no routine?
No routine.
No.
Not that
I need your routine because if you do something that Ronke doesn't want, this is not what we planned. This is not what we said. I don't like it when you don't follow the plan I have set. You know?
It sounds like
I like a
something
plan.
Ronke
I do like a plan. Okay, I'll go with routine.
It's nice to have a mix of
Yeah. But you see, it can be very routine.
Me?
I feel like I'm more. Let's go.
Oh, okay, you're so
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so.
You're so nuts. It's not like your life has to be in order, but I think for you, once we set a plan,
Yeah, so we do. If you go
me,
off
I'm like, oh, we set a plan, but did we not set the plan? We can reset. She's like, no, this is the plan.
No, 'cause in my head,
based on
like,
yeah,
sorry.
You
in
know,
my head.
it goes as much as yesterday we're sharing chips or something while we're eating, and I said, oh, I took some of her chips. She said, okay, take as much as you like, but I want you to take everything that you're going to take because now I'm going to plan for the rest of the chips.
No way.
Do you know what?
It's like, is it that serious?
So let me explain because you're making me sound bad. You're making me sound bad.
It actually sounds like something.
I literally did. But you know why? Because I saved the best till last of my food. Diola she has no sense of like deferred like joy. She has to enjoy it now. As soon as it's in front of her, she'll enjoy the best of it. Then she'll look at my plate. She'll be like, oh, I see you still have plantain left. I'll be like, but I planned for that plantain. You see how I have my plantain?
How do you plan for plantain?
You guys, you know,
I've never heard this before.
It was because you're already showing yourself.
you know how you just want to save the best to last.
I don't understand.
No! I'm sure somebody out there relates to it.
Yeah, maybe someone else that relates.
You guys have convinced me I am routine. Guilty.
Definitely guilty as charged. Work from home or work in an office or studio?
Work from home.
Work from office. Yeah, I do
Work
really
from
well.
Oh, my bed is my favorite place to work.
Okay, that's a good mix. 9 to 5 or entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur.
Okay, well, that's why I was at here. Isn't it? On a Tuesday afternoon. Morning or night person?
Night.
Person.
Okay. There's a lot of morning people online. But
Oh my
I think in real life, we don't really exist.
No, I've never been a morning person. Our parents aren't morning people either. Like at 2 a.m. in our house, everybody's still awake. Like it's so
Really?
regular.
We go to bed
Like,
at 8 p.m.
like
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, we have
I
to
could
go to bed.
never.
Yeah. I feel like that's what I'm
never
morning
had that
person.
lifestyle.
I would wake up like
4
at 2 a.m. or something. I'll just be like, oh my god, why did I sleep so early?
I'm like your body clock is off. Do you know what? I feel like I come alive in the nighttime. Like I can
serious?
focus. The world is
like that.
quiet.
Yeah.
Like I
As
feel
soon
like
as it's 6 o'clock, I'm literally shutting down. My brain is
that's when I'm gearing up.
maybe about 4 or 5 ish. Yeah. So when you say you're not really a morning person, I'm like, really? That's good. Some of us cannot. I mean, when people say they come alive in the night, they are doing this. I'm
Yes.
like, nah.
If you message us at like 2 a.m., we'll likely reply.
I know. I think I told all of you like, why are you messaging at 1 a.m.? I think then I was off like breastfeeding or something. I'm
I'm
like,
sure I think I was messaging a lot the night before. People were like, wow, 2 a.m., 1 a.m.
no. At that time, I'm like sound asleep. I mean, I'm messaging people at 5, 6. They're like, sorry, why are you messaging me so early? I'm like, I thought we we're all awake. Are we not awake?
I'm like, is everything okay? Like,
Anything before 9, I'm like, that's actually like very disrespectful. I'm asleep.
like, did we plan a call? Like, why do you think it's okay to call?
Sometimes if I'm ringing someone at like 6 or 7, I'm like, I hope it's not too late. They're like, oh no, it's okay. I'm like, okay, 7 o'clock when I'm getting ready for bed. Oh, well, okay. Road trip or flights?
Flights.
Email or phone calls?
Email for me.
Aye, it's a tough one because I like people to go straight to the point.
Exactly.
Like I don't
See that typing thing. Was it yesterday I spoke to you? I'm like, I wanted to type. I'm like, who has time for that? I literally
you
pick
call
up
me.
my phone anytime
I
I
like
want
people.
to do
So what I
anything.
don't like is when you call me and instead of telling me what you called, oh hello, how you doing, and then I might be busy, you might be busy. You know, just tell me why you called me. So I always say, I think it depends on the circumstance. Normally I say I would prefer a phone call, but sometimes if I'm missing or if I'm at an event, I hate it when people call me at an event because I'm like, just text me what you have to say. If it's I'm running late, if it's I can't make it anymore, if it's the food can't be delivered. Like, just, I want to know the information immediately.
Straight to the point.
I don't want to like spend a minute on the phone with you
Or
talking
doing
about
small
it
talks.
when there's like 5 other things going on. So I just like to be straight to the point of that in that scenario. Yeah.
Cool. What's your dream collaboration?
Do you want to go first? Cause
No, you go first.
I think right now Canva's like one of our dream collaborators for Black Creative Trailblazers because they're all about doing like creative things and we're all about doing creative things. And I use Canva every single day. So like I feel like that would be
really good.
amazing.
Yeah.
And for our creatives as well, I think that would be really positive.
Yeah, I think for me, I love Canva as well. I would also say Google actually, because I think as we talked about Gmail and using like the Google Drive, Docs, all of that, I was like, wow, Google would be a really great partner. And we both worked at Google in the past. So I worked in a legal team, Ronke did like something.
Yeah.
Like some sort of internship.
Yeah, it was Google Bold. So they chose like I think 20 creatives from across Europe, Middle East, and Africa, and we came to like the Google HQ and had like a short internship, and so that was really fun.
Yeah, so I think we both have kind of like a history of working with them, and it would be good to like have them support our initiatives. And I think they're a huge company that could, and I think like I don't know, there'll just be huge potential to like amplify the work that we're presently doing, and hopefully like impact more Black creators, not just in Manchester, but like.
What is one app you cannot live without?
What's up?
Camera. camera app. Oh my God, what would I do? I think I could live without it though, but it would be hard. Camera app, yeah. Camera, messages, yeah.
Okay.
How about you? What's one app you can't live without?
My calendar.
Oh, that's a good one. Notes. I changed my notes.
Yeah.
Notes.
No.
Me and
So
notes.
essential.
I think on my iPhone, my notes.
And even ChatGPT. I mean,
That's a really good one.
I think by now, me and ChatGPT have probably taken over the world because the things we were both planning.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, you know how people say, "Oh, I can let people read my messages." Don't even read my ChatGPT because the things we're planning there. Oh, it's interesting. Well, yeah. Okay. What's your biggest business splurge that you do not regret?
Biggest business splurge is probably my laptop. Yeah. During lockdown, I got some tax back, and I used all of my tax back to get a new laptop, and I think it's more than served the business. I got the Mac. It was brand new, fresh at that time, And my old laptop, it used to make a noise. It used to breathe loudly, and it was hanging off by a thread, and then I'd have to hold it in a particular angle for it to work. And so getting that laptop was a huge deal for me, and it's been
Your old laptop that you use.
No.
Okay.
Remember the other one?
The one that got damaged at Christmas like that.
No. The one before that's where it used to I used to have to turn it to the side so that the
Those things they say now can't start.
the memory card will actually work, and so I could edit pictures. Then it will crash us halfway through me editing pictures, and I'd literally be like, I spent hours editing those pictures. So yeah, the ghetto. So my new laptop, really.
Yeah. And your camera?
Oh yes, my camera.
From a photography perspective.
Yeah, from a photography
Because your new camera is so amazing.
Oh my God, it's so good.
And she got it using a fund.
Inspire Fund.
Inspire Fund by the Greater Manchester Combined
So they gave me
Authority.
$2,000 for.
Yeah, so you can apply for an amount between £500 and £2,000. You can apply.
I need to get on all these phones real quick.
If you can apply as an individual, or you can apply as a small business with a turnover of less than, is it 500,000 or something
like that.
Yeah.
But as an individual, you can get new podcasting equipment or
Because I want to get something like this.
Yeah. So
And I would also recommend applying to the Grand Plan Fund, the £1,000 fund, because I think they're giving out 25 to just black individuals. I sent you in the group chat. You don't check the group chat.
I do want
It's
to
busy.
but there's
So much happening.
It is busy.
I do think
I
just
feel
speaking
like
to you,
because I have so many
group chats, it's hard. I think I will do one just for funding, because I think for anyone who's interested in just leveling up in that level, maybe it's useful to just be like, okay, what funds are available? I have time to apply. Now, if you travel, you're taking a break, and you're like, okay, I'm setting aside this next
finding money.
Let me apply. It's useful for you, because even me, I get lost in the sauce. I'm like, oh my God, I know we said so many funds, but which one do I want to start with?
And sometimes I want to start searching the group. I'm like, what exactly am I looking
what was it
for?
called?
Yeah,
What was it?
exactly.
Maybe I'll also put funding alerts or something when I.
Thanks for coming on the show and sharing your journey with us. It's been amazing and inspiring. So if people want to find you, where do they find you?
So we're super active on Instagram. We are at Cultureville, CULTUREVILLE for Cultureville, and that's cultureville.co.uk on our website, and you can contact us that way. We also have Black Creative Trailblazers.
We are at Black Creative Trailblazers on Instagram, and you can also find us at www.blackcreativetrailblazers.com.
Cool. So all that information will be in the show notes. So do well to check out their journey, and you'd be inspired, really. Thanks for listening to Be on the Collection by M.A.D. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a story. Share the episode and connect with us. It's at Beyond the Collection on all social media platforms. Keep building boldly. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.